Hello, hello. How is everyone doing this Christmas Eve? Hold on, let me get my microphone situated here. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Happy holidays, everyone. I hope you guys are all ready for Christmas. Hometown Cooter. What Hometown Cooter? Anyone? Wait, hold on. Hometown Cooter is in your advertising. She said, anyone here in the St. Pete, Florida area want to do a clinical trial and earn $550? Hit me up. Clinical trial for what? Is this like MK Ultra Cooter? What kind of clinical cooter trial are we signing up for? Good to see everybody. Gypsy and Ludwig and Chris, Ange Carter, the lovely Sherry. We got Suze and Incognito Potato. It's already Christmas Eve over there in the UK. Merry Christmas Eve. Hold on, Jubes. Evelyn. Merry Christmas Eve. Pink Cotton Candy. Cobalt. Janine. Dog the Betty Hunter. Good to see you. Thank you for subscribing, Disney James 70, Disney James USA 78. What kind of it's a MK Ultra Cooter? Baking cookies. I want some cookies. Christmas Miracle. Charlie made it on time. Whoop whoop. Come on in, everybody. Don't be shy. Hydration supplement. Huh. Do you have to go under, like, do you have to go through, what do you have to do? Do you just have to, like, give a review? What's up, little bit? Adaz, Kendo, Merry Christmas, Ministry of Defense, Merry Christmas, Cole and Tina, Cramit, Mrs. Smith. We got a bunch of elf cooters in here. Speaking of elves, I heard that someone lost their elf on the shelf. Or it ran away. Something like that. There is an elf on the shelf on the loose. Okay? I'm going to put the poster up for this missing elf on a shelf. If you guys see it anywhere, I highly suggest you don't approach it. It was last seen on TikTok. The elf is missing. So if you see this elf anywhere, and as you're doing your Christmas shopping, going to your family parties, if you see this elf, do not approach. Immediately call 911. It's a very dangerous elf. Thank you so much, Incognito Potato, for your European super chat. Deck the halls with bells and cooters. Fa la 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 la. Drink a supplement and have some blood work. It's 4 visits. I might hit your ass up. But yes, I highly suggest you do not approach. And this is not photoshopped in the slightest.
You want a cough drop?
Oh, I hope they find your package, Crimes. That's the worst. Oh, Tanya, I'm so sorry to hear about that. It's a Merry Cooter Christmas Eve. Tanya, I hope you're feeling okay. Oh, Clue, I didn't even hear it. Clue says, I'm really sorry for talking about your cooter on my live today, but Bullhorn Betty made me mad as fuck. I missed it. Clue. My cooter wasn't burning. My cooter wasn't burning today. But, Clue, in Tennessee, if you see this elf, do not fucking approach it. It is rabid. And, it's dangerous. So I wanted to do that public service announcement before we began tonight. Look at this, Stella. High from Iceland. Merry Christmas. You guys, we have someone from Iceland up in here. Stella, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and yours. The only thing is I'm petrified of blood draws, hometown cooter. And everybody wants to know, what exactly are we hydrating here? Cooter hydration? I'm just kidding. Uninvited ghetto. I hope you have a happy holiday. Happy holidays, Mrs. Smith, as well. 911. You went left field. It's okay, Clue. It wasn't burning, so I must be all right. Isn't that crazy? Iceland. Like, I didn't even know they had Wi-Fi in Iceland. I mean, I'm kind of half joking, but for real. Regina. Ludwig said, rumor has it Bet's hoo-ha is a vicious fight game. Ew. Merry Christmas, Tia. Merry Christmas, Frenchie Mom. Enid. Enid, we have Puerto Rico. We've got Iceland. Wow. Chris. That's really neat. Wait, what did Potato say? I just got who the rabid elf is. Man, I'm slow. Oh, man. Laura J., you are on Mean Girl Murders, Church Camp Killer, Heidi Broussard. They show you. I know. Thank you, Laura. I filmed for that. Thank you, Laura. I love how everybody's seeing me on the big screen. That's pretty exciting stuff. Thursday and Friday this week. I got a hair appointment on Thursday. I got a hair appointment on Thursday that is much needed. Clue, me either, just volcanoes. That is awesome, though, how the internet connects everyone. Isn't that cool? I mean, I really honestly like Iceland. Hometown Cooter says, don't be weak. Thank you for subscribing, Michelle's Criminal Musings. Hey, I've got to show you guys this video right quick. Check this out. If you live in Tennessee and you have minors, thank you. And you have minors, this might affect you. I don't know how they're going to enforce this, but take a listen. It's a quick one. It's a quickie. But check this out. They're starting to do this in states. I don't know how they're going to enforce this, but let me know what you think.
And impactful state laws are set to be enacted as we turn to 2025. News 2's Sam Sheminti tells us more about some of those laws, including two which will have a big impact on Tennessee children.
On January 1st, Tennessee will ring in the new year with some new laws. Let's start with a big one. The Protecting Children from Social Media Act. This legislation will require social media companies to verify a user's age.
All it does is require parental consent for minors to have access to social media. It does not apply to commerce platforms such as your Amazons, your eBays.
Governor Lee previously said this law will, quote, empower parents to protect their kids while they're online. Next up is age verification for porn sites. The Protect Tennessee Minors Act will require sexual content websites to confirm in some way that the visitor is 18 or older.
This bill simply puts the cyber community in concert with what we do in the physical world. We do not allow minors to go into adult establishments. We do not allow minors access to written materials that are inappropriate.
Finally, bartenders along Broadway will soon need further training. Come the 1st, all alcohol servers in Tennessee must be trained on the role drugs and alcohol play in sexual assaults.
You can tell when something's off, and you can tell when maybe someone's not having a good time. But instead of just not knowing what to do with that, now they know how to intervene.
That training will then need to be renewed by bartenders every 2 years in Tennessee. In Nashville, Sam Chimenti, News 2.
What do you guys think of that? I think that's great, but I don't know how they're going to enforce it. I just pinned the link if anybody wants to come up. And Nid, thank you for gifting 5 cooterships. Welcome to Cooterville. Come on in and close your legs. I don't know, like, how are they going to verify the age? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a great start. They're addressing the shit. They're at least, you know, acknowledging that there's a problem. But how are they going to enforce that? Inquiring minds want to know. And Nid. I think it's awesome too. I just don't know how they're going to enforce it. You know what I'm saying? I guess we need to go deeper into the bill and see what it entails. And we can do that, just not tonight. But we definitely should do that. All right, let's get into
True crimers.
this mess.
Welcome to Break the Case.
I don't know. I got through this mess once. We're going to watch a little bit of Coffindaffer. Like, I'm going to skim the shit. But I do want to re-listen at least to the very end because she skirted around a couple things tonight. It wasn't your typical Coffindaffer, like, you know, Seth is innocent. It wasn't like it usually is. Now, yes, it was bad because of some of the things that were said about Sebastian, in my opinion. The starving thing, the eating thing. I thought that all the things were ridiculous. But real quick, I want to go to the end. And I don't know if she's just not making sense, but I want to hear this part again. Hold on. Hold on, guys.
They are
find it.
talking. No. Oh, yes. Thank you, Cassie Roku. So Cassie Roku talks about the scratches. This is so important with
No, it's
Chris
not.
Proudfoot. There was one other thing. Oh, hopefully somebody in chat notices.
Okay, this part, this is what got me. This seemed like such an act, if you will. Hey, Potato, thank you for gifting a cootership. If you received that cootership, make sure you thank the lovely Potato. But this part seemed like she was like, you know, kind of acting a little bit.
it because I thought it was very important, and I did not bring this up yet. Anyway, I've probably forgotten it.
I've probably forgotten it. Like, I'm telling you, something's up, man. Something is up.
Yes, deception, exactly.
Hey, Crimson, happy holidays.
What happened with the lady that implicated CP? Oh, these are going so fast. Is this okay? Oh my God, I'm not good at reading these.
She's never had a problem before. She's never had a problem reading them before. This is like so weird to me. Like, oh, I think I forgot. Oh, I'm having a hard time reading this. Like, I don't know if she's playing or if this is just off.
All right. Well, anyway. And then there's some mean comments too.
And then there's some mean comments too.
The bottom line is, I just wanted to come out because it's right before Christmas. There's no Sebastian Rogers. I truly believe law enforcement is working their tail off on it. Oh, I know something that really bothered me. This is the last
She
one.
remembers it. See, she just remembers. Here we go.
Luminol. There was no luminol. If we're to believe Chris Proudfoot said they did not do any fingerprint examination and they did no luminol examination of their home or their cars or anything. I'm just citing what Chris Proudfoot said. I think they were remiss if they didn't. You know, we get into just like a John Benet Ramsey case, Summer Wells case. You have to treat these cases, especially with an autistic child or a real young child. You have to treat these cases like there's a crime that's been committed. You can't treat these cases like they just voluntarily left initially. You have to treat it as if something bad happened. And then you work backwards, obviously, if the parents have alibis, if there's no sign of any issues with those parents, things like that. If you can work to eliminate, then you work the circle out from the inner circle to the outer circle.
Now, I think this is where she said something that piqued my interest.
But in this case, I don't think they ever got too far beyond the inner circle. And I don't understand if it's true that they didn't use any luminol. I don't understand that. All right, let's see. All right, I think that's it. I want to touch on this. Somebody was so nice and gave Nick the Hat. Thank you. Nick the Hat gave a $4.99 donation to the program. Thank you so much. And I want to give a shout out to both
She shouts out Nick and Dog now.
Nick and to Dog the Bounty Hunter, because they're working on this case. I know that's a fact. They're entertaining what tips come in. And a lot of people in cases like this, I can tell you from my experience, they don't want to call law enforcement. They're afraid that their phone is going to be tracked and then they're going to it's going to come out in a report, and they don't. They want to be anonymous, and they will contact Dog. They will contact the numbers that are given, and that's because they don't want their name out there. So that and the notoriety. I mean, Dog the Bounty Hunter has literally millions of people who adore him, and they followed him when he was young, when he was tracking down fugitives, and they believe in him. And anytime you have millions of people that are paying attention to you, I mean, he has, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands just on Twitter, on X, hundreds of thousands. I don't know how many, but it's hundreds of thousands. They're paying attention to him. And that means they're paying attention to Sebastian. So let me see if I can get this one to come out. So I just want to say thank you to them, and thank you to anybody in the chat, anybody listening now who has actually put this. Thank you so much, Alice. Alice, thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Little Red. Thank you so much. And Merry Christmas to you, Little Red. What a nice donation of $20. That is so very nice. Thank you so much. And Castle, thank you very much. 1999, she says, Jacob Pete truck pinged in the neighborhood when he said he wasn't in Tennessee. Yes, that's the one I was talking about. There was a ping that was supposedly there that then I heard Chris try to kind of explain. I think that is going to be very important again, because when you're law enforcement, and let me click on this, when you're law enforcement, you want to specifically look at inconsistencies from statements to what is the reality from your facts. Yes, hey Jude, Sebastian Strong. Let's see, $4.99. Thank you. Can't you culture? Yes, they could have cultured his arm, meaning to see if there were bite or scratch marks from a dog as opposed to a human. I don't know that they did that, but nevertheless, I hope that they took a picture of them. And Lisa, thank you so much. And God bless you and Merry Christmas to you. I can say that they can, but in a case like this, I'm not sure they did. If they didn't do luminol and they didn't do fingerprints, I can tell you they didn't swab that, but hopefully they took a picture of it. And if not, we have pictures of it, because that could help them prove or show that there might've been a struggle leading up to what happened to Sebastian. Yes,
Hey,
Christmas wishes. Oh,
can we
Betty
pause for 1 second?
Bullhorn, $4.99. Thank
Hey, Regina.
Hey, girlfriend. How you doing?
I'm good.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
Same to you.
It's driving me nuts. I'm sorry. It's like I'm
No,
getting ready to
chime
start
in. What's
listening.
up? What's on your mind?
Yeah, this is how out of date Jennifer is, even with recent forensic technologies. They don't use luminol very often anymore because it destroys DNA. They now use a chemical called Blue Star that is less likely to destroy DNA. So that's just one more strike on her side for being retired, not up to date up to date with anything. And not only that, but didn't we find out that those scratches and stuff on Chris's arms were done with video editing?
Well, they were enhanced with video editing, but he did say he got
Right.
on the floor and roughhoused with the Yorkies or the Morkies or whatever.
Yeah.
And she did explain that. I kind of
Okay.
skipped past it, but she did go into detail about how he would get on the floor and like get the dogs riled up or whatever,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't want to watch all of this. I wanted to see what she said at the end because I forgot. I was like wrapping gifts and like half listening, but something piqued my interest and I want to remember what it was. Hey,
Part
what's
of
up,
this
Granny?
interview,
Happy holidays.
in my opinion, was absolutely vile. Some of the accusations she
Oh, I
made just
agree.
literally tasteless.
It was wild. It was like, plus you're right. She was talking about shit that we talked about months ago. It was like the
Mhm.
FBI reward that came out at 6 months in. We're at like 10.
Yeah.
You know.
Thank you so much. And
Oh, look at Bullhorn Betty super chatted. Watch.
Betty is another one who has a huge following, who was willing to actually
Where?
risk a court case, I think, in her fervor to try to get this case out. And
Can you believe
for
that?
everybody who has done that, I just, who's put Sebastian first, I thank all of you. Laura Quigley, thank you so much. 1999, that's so nice of you. Laura is one of the, she's one of these people that so much is in the missing community, so much is in the
Do
true
you
crime
guys know
community,
who
and really trying
Laura
to make a
is?
difference. Repost.
Do you know Laura Quigley, anyone? Never heard of her.
Never heard of her.
Okay, me either. Let us know in chat if you've heard of her.
Posting every time. The one thing everybody can do, I always say, is when we have somebody that we know is missing, that law enforcement has said is missing, that we have missing posters on, that we have some details and we post it, please repost, because you just never, it proliferates and you never know who that might reach, that might know something or has seen something, and it just gives them great awareness. And that's the kind of person Laura is. Thank you, Laura. Listen, I don't want to belabor too much more. I want to make sure nobody else has anything they wanted to say. Again, yes, Luna says, thank you, Bullhorn Betty, for everything she's done, because even amidst what happened in terms of a court case, she's still advocating for Sebastian, and we all should be fervently. So my hat goes off also to Seth Rogers. I don't know if he's in here. I don't know if I want him in here, because I think I've been really honest with the way the needle is pointing. And if that needle is truly pointing in that direction, let's just pray somehow Sebastian is returned to Seth. I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Panda.
What do you think of that statement? She didn't want him in there because she was being honest? What, like, because it was going to hurt him to hear that?
I'm still trying to get over the fact that she said Betty was advocating.
Oh, God almighty. I know I think she's said it before too. She's acting very strange to me, though. This is just a very weird. I know a lot of people don't like her. I get it. But can you put your hatred aside and think about the different lives you've watched? I felt like it was different.
I at least had respect for this woman until this interview. She's lost any respect I had for her after this. This was too much.
It's crazy.
More than enough.
What about Court TV? We still have to watch that. I haven't seen it. I
haven't seen it yet
I guess
either.
it was vile like this with the things that were said. But yeah, Panda comes up at the very end. Weird. Okay, let's keep watching.
That's really sweet of you. Happy holidays to you and your family too. Another one that's always part of the True Crime Circle. To all of y'all. Oh, there's one other. I'm just gonna want to make sure I'm yes, prayers that he's returned. Listen, I just want to really say thank you for all of you who came on. And I'm just trying to be honest. Mob Crew, shout out to Mob Crew for what you did with the video.
Oh my God.
All right. Thank you again, everyone.
What's up, Clue? Oh, she gone? Oh, I thought I added you. What happened?
Clue. I have no idea. So I don't watch her a lot, you know what I mean? But I'm going to tell you right now, I got the vibe of if you need help, blink twice.
Like a Tony moment.
And it's almost like you have to wonder, and I do wonder, and it's a fair question, I think, in my opinion. Do you get one of those talking point emails too?
I was wondering the same thing. Did she get a packet?
That's what I'm saying.
Because Nikki showed
Had
up
to
and
have.
super chatted too.
Mm-hmm.
Had to have.
Mm-mm-mm.
And they keep it's girl, I'm telling you, it's something super weird. There's like literally something super weird. We recreate that light video, and again, I'm just gonna say we got more proof today that we are not wrong. Why is there such all of a sudden we
So
recreate
much
this
pushback.
video? Yes, and now all of a sudden everyone is shouting out the Bob crew for what a great job they did. It's wrong. Why? Girl, I'm
Dude,
telling you,
she argued with me on X about it. Coffindaffer did.
are
So
you
she,
serious?
yeah, so she made a post and she was like, shout out to the mob crew for debunking this light video, blah, blah, blah. And I replied and I said, are you kidding me, Jen? He didn't debunk anything. And she replied back and she said, yes, he did. He debunked that lights video.
You know, that is so funny because short of actually having that camera record at night on a night similar to the conditions that Sebastian went missing, um, nothing is going to recreate or debunk that video.
Well, and
Nothing.
how's he going to debunk it sitting at home? Like she's going to sit there and say
Right.
for sure he debunked it when he hasn't even been there? Like that doesn't even make sense.
That's what I'm saying. And that's kind of like what I went off in my video today. I'm like, dude, you're not here. Like I'm telling you, we are on the ground looking at this camera. We have the specs of the camera. We have the field of view of the camera. And I'm telling you, we are not wrong.
Look at
At all.
this was oh no, 2 days ago. Sorry, this was the 21st. My days are melting together. But I replied to her. I said, seriously, Jen, he didn't debunk anything. She said, hi, Jay. Merely saying he debunked the other person's video, inasmuch as the other person did not duplicate angle or height of the camera that took the original video footage we have all been looking at for months. And I put, right, but he didn't. There's no way to possibly know since LE has the original footage. She never said anything. And then all these people, he did. Well, Bams came and said he didn't, but all these people, SF is a joke. He completely debunked it. Chris is brilliant. I mean, it's just a bunch of propaganda, man.
It is. And you have to wonder
Why?
why.
Mhm. It's getting pretty intense right now, honestly, with that whole light thing.
I see what you're saying, Clue. Is it like as part of the packet that went out, was everyone told this is wrong, this is debunked? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm. And I'm
because
telling
you're
you,
right. This happens like it's a chain of events. I see it.
and I will tell you something else that I find super sus and I always have. Anytime I do a live and I come out with something, Tony jumps on a panel. Tony jumps on a panel and literally tries to like
Debunk.
well, that's not right.
Yeah,
And
he debunks or does like damage control.
right. Chris came up on Truth the other night. What happens? Oh, Sean's going live.
And there are so many of us out here that are like always mad in cases and stuff whenever there's not transparency through the court systems and stuff. But think about what is really going on whenever there are parents, any parents of a missing child trying to silence anyone in the media. You guys, this is really scary if you want to know the truth about it. Like there is something seriously wrong when anybody with an opinion other than what the narrative being pushed by one side, whenever those people are trying to be silenced, it's time to worry. I agree. There's something going on, Clue.
I have a
I'm
question. Something popped in my head today, Clue, with all of this, the lights, the geofencing, all of this being talked about, the Wi-Fi being picked up. Now, excuse me. Everyone that's blaming Katie, okay, and say Sebastian never left the house because she did something and put him in the car, right?
Mhm.
Well, don't they know every car now that came in and out, right?
Yeah, that
And we
law
would
enforcement
know.
said they
Right.
accounted.
Right. So we would know, or they would know, if Katie left the house between let's say when Sebastian was seen taking out the garbage to 6 whatever when she drove, to go look for him.
Yep.
Right.
There
And
is
then
no
So-
they,
way.
So
those
it's
people
pretty damn.
also-
Hold on. Let me finish my thought.
Mhm.
So it goes deeper than that, right? So they would know if Katie left with his body in the fucking car. Okay.
Correct.
I don't think that was the sighting. I don't think he was seen deceased in the back of his mother's car, right?
Not to my knowledge.
Right. So the only thing we can think is that maybe he was seen in this video that everyone's so hyped up over, possibly, right?
Which video? The light video?
Yeah, the one that everybody's all pissed off about. Why are they so pissed off about it?
I have no idea, girl. Like that. It's blowing my mind right now.
Right. Like what? I mean, that's what I was saying. So is that part of Sebastian's last sighting? And they don't want it
Well-
talked about or something. I mean, I don't know.
Jay, law enforcement told Seth and Chris both that was a garbage truck, and they repeated that verbatim.
Both of them.
Yes.
But they
There is
told us
more
that
to
Ellie
it.
said that. That's their
I don't
word,
think
though.
that's true. I don't think it's true. I don't think it is a garbage truck. But
Do you really think they were told that, though?
yes,
Yeah, absolutely, because they both
I
said it.
do.
That's the only thing. If you look at everything that they have said, yada yada yada, etc., that is the only thing both of them have said as statements from law enforcement that they were told, that they both agreed on.
They did agree on that.
Hey, little bit, you're up here.
Hi.
Hey, do you want your camera on or off?
Off.
All right, go ahead and shut it off, hon. I can't hear you. You're going to have to shut it off.
And you know something else that people brought up? Like they were like, oh, but what about the Brinks security van Katie was driving? Well, do y'all really think that a Brinks security system van isn't going to have auto GPS tracking and stuff on it?
For
It's
sure.
a security company vehicle. You know what I mean? Like they're going to know everywhere, every time that engine was start, they're going to know everything about that vehicle. So they're going to have all that.
So her first thing was that Sebastian ate like she's never seen a 15-year-old eat. All these things defy logic, okay? They defy logic because we all know that 15-year-olds shovel in the food and they have like bottomless pits. Like anybody who's a mom knows that.
My 48-year-old husband still eats like that.
So, I mean, her saying
Seriously.
that, is she that dumb or is she playing some kind of game? Because that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, she's saying it's a red flag, but we all know that defies logic. So why is she saying that?
Are both true. Is she that dumb and playing a game?
Because she mentions, too, like, why doesn't she have, like, salami and meats? Didn't we hear that Sebastian didn't like meat? It's like they're repeating what Seth's narrative.
It's like a long line of bobbleheads.
Well, listen to
playing
this part again.
telephones.
Listen to this part. Here we go.
Popcorn, granola bar if you think that's healthy, fruit, cheese, salami, meats. Have the things that you think are healthy for him, but do not deny a 15-year-old growing boy the opportunity to eat when they are hungry.
I mean, what?
What the
Where is
actual-
this even coming from? Like,
It's almost like she's insinuating that they starved Sebastian.
she is.
That she
And-
is. She said that on Court TV the other night.
See, I haven't
That's-
heard
that's-
that one yet.
Oh,
the-
yeah.
I heard it was vile.
And she was pretty much saying he looks like he hasn't eaten in days. I'm not saying that's the case.
He does not. He does not look like he hasn't eaten in days. Sebastian was a healthy weight, a healthy size in the video footage I saw. I'm sure you all saw the same footage. He does not look starved. Okay. And I'm
No,
sorry,
he
but as
doesn't.
little interaction as he had with Seth said what Seth wasn't the one feeding him full time. Just saying. It's ridiculous. This interview made me
Okay,
mad.
listen to this. She talks about those damn lights. Here we go. Listen.
Real person that just was a lookalike. So that was very interesting very early on in the case. I'm just kind of running through some of the main things that happened. 3/18. Whoa, that's a big day, right? That's been a lot right now on social media, everything that's going on, discussing the lights. I'm going to talk about the lights. I'm going to talk about the lights for this reason. The lights happened. They're on video. That video took place at 3:10 a.m. Okay. And I should say that 3/18 was when it all became public on WTVF. Okay. The lights were actually on. I'm sorry, I want to make this clear. 2:26 were the lights at 3:10 a.m. 3/18, March 18th, is when we in the public knew about the lights.
The
from
fuck is she talking about?
Well, I can tell you this much. Coffindaffer, I think your boy, Sean, may be lying to you because I have it on video where he says the timestamp, ma'am, was broken. It stayed on 311 the entire time. 311, not 310.
Clue my sentiments exactly.
I mean, what the fuck? What's 226? I've never even heard of 226 being anything. Listen.
What?
Yeah, listen to her again. First, she says she starts out the segment. She goes 3:18. And then she goes, oh, 3:10 were the lights. Then she goes, actually, I want to make this clear. 226. Let's listen again. She's all over the place.
The lights were actually on. I'm sorry, I want to make this clear. 2:26 were the lights at 3:10.
Is that 226 the date? Yeah, the date.
So.
All right. She's all over the fucking place.
10 a.m.
She's reading that.
3:18.
She's reading that email.
She's in that fucking packet.
Yep.
Yep.
March 18th is when we in the public knew about the lights from 3:10 from the surveillance video, right? It got leaked. It got leaked. And a lot has been said about that, right? We heard from Seth. Seth said, well,
Seth said,
you know, could it be the trash truck? We've heard, or not heard, but seen with our own eyes.
She
Does it
so
look like a
flustered.
couple people out there?
Isn't she acting weird?
Yes.
Not only that, but she said Seth said it could have been a trash
Could
truck.
have been.
It seemed like a trash. No,
He
said
insisted it was a trash truck.
He said he's seen it.
Yes.
He's seen it, and it was. That's what
He said he's, yeah, day and night he's seen that
Yep.
shit.
Everyone needs to stop with the lights. It's a trash truck.
Yes. Oh my
Yep.
God. It was right on fucking Pascal. Seth said,
Dude.
well, it could have been a trash truck.
It's her behavior, though. Like,
She is acting fucking strange.
she's doing the same thing that literally Mob was doing last night, where they want to make a point, but there's no point to be made. I swear. Watch. It's like she's trying to find the words to push whatever is supposed to be put. This cannot be real life.
That's what I'm saying. This is for all these people to be like, it's like they're all zombies.
Right.
I mean, I'm not joking.
Well, you know, they did threaten to like
Maybe
put
at night
stuff in
use
people. Like
yeah,
truth
maybe
serum.
at night use sodium pentanol on them.
The truth serum.
Yeah.
Good
they act like it.
Lord. She's really not
zombie.
acting. I mean, I know that she's, you know, a little kooky, but she's usually not acting like this. This is like she's not prepped for like a show.
Exactly.
Like she's winging it off of what these papers are in front of her.
It's like she doesn't believe what she's saying.
Right, right. It's weird. Okay, let's listen to this part again.
Right? We heard from Seth. Seth said, well, you know, could it be the trash truck? We've heard, or not heard, but seen with our own eyes. Does it look like a couple people out there with their flashlights? You know, I want to read the specific details of that video as it was reported to us on 318. Okay. I think this is very important.
This is when Nick reported it. Nick
Let me see. I'm sorry.
Barris.
Jay, she bobbleheaded. Did you not see that? She bobbleheaded, literally.
Oh, shoot. I thought I had that right handy. Essentially,
Oh my God.
it very
See, why is
specifically.
she all discombobulated like that?
That's what I'm saying. Why does she keep looking to the left? Is this somebody standing beside of her?
Dude, I don't know. Does she need help?
This is, wow.
This is wild.
It really is.
I thought Idaho was crazy, but this is freaking wild, dude.
Right? Okay, I put her on regular speed.
I'm so glad
I thought I had that right
that
handy.
by myself.
It's so
Essentially, it very specifically talks about how person one is seen. That's what it said. Person one. I'll post this on my Twitter later.
Oh, Lord.
Because I don't want to take time to look at it. Person one, and then person two comes into view. Then person one gets out of view. Person one comes back into view, and then the lights go out. Okay. That's the essential summary of what happened at 3:10 a.m. Was it a trash truck? Okay, first of all, this is very important. This is critical to understand that law enforcement has not said. Go ahead, go back and look at whatever you want, look at any news, look at anything you want. Is not law enforcement that has said it was the garbage truck. It is not anyone who said it's a garbage truck, except I think early on that might have been said by one of the parents. Okay.
Seth and
But
Chris.
we haven't heard it from law enforcement.
Why is she skeezing around it? Like,
dude, I
Shit,
don't know.
What are you talking about? She's blatantly lying.
That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm telling you guys. These people act like they can't even buy what they're saying. I'm telling you right now. I promise you, I'm not going to tell you why, but I promise you right now, Mob Crew 150,000% wrong about that video. He is smart enough to know. He is already smart enough to know, I will give him this credit, that he knows he's wrong. But he's still sitting there having to push a lie. He literally acts just like she is acting.
Dude, that's weird.
Creepy.
And she's like, she's on the struggle bus trying to talk.
Yeah, because she usually flows with whatever, her topic is.
Yeah.
The only time she really flusters is when she tries to read the chat, putting her glasses on and shit. But not for the main part of the show. And this has been really weird. Like, she's like, I think, like she has 7 red flags, but she's like skirting around it.
I'm with Clue. Blink SOS if you need help, Jennifer.
It's very uncomfortable.
Well, I'm just going to say, someone else in the chat was like, what does she keep looking at in the corner of the room? I'm just saying, I'm not the only person that saw that.
Yeah, Joe Madre said it's distancing herself, but from what? Like, what's got her all uncomfortable? Oh, Julia was in here too, by the way.
Who?
The doggy girl.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, she was in there. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness.
The whole crew was there. Like, it was weird because I saw certain people saying, no, what you're saying is wrong. Like, and they weren't getting blocked, but they were getting a lot of pushback from the chat.
Speaking of Julia, do you remember how certain people on the green team pushed that she was a plant for the Proudfoots, and a certain Terry person pushed that she was a plant for the Proudfoots, and then you find her on this lawsuit with the green team? It just that all that just seems sus to me. It all seems sus.
It's all sus.
Everything is it's sus.
Is Kendo still here? Kendo, my God. Thank you so much for your PayPal, and Merry Christmas to you too. So nice. Happy holidays. Yeah, y'all, I'm with you. It's fucking weird.
To me, if I don't hear it from law enforcement, then I'm not giving it the credit that some people may. So I gave a shout out to Mob Crew because I can tell the time and energy and everything they've done to discuss those lights. We know that at least according to the reporting, it was at 3:10 a.m. But I always caution everybody, I can't tell you how many recordings that I have found. It all depends on the accuracy of the recording device itself. How was it programmed? Was it programmed, what time frame? East Coast, West Coast, Pacific, was it changed when daylight savings happened? Blah, blah, blah. Did anybody even keep up with the time? But let's, for the sake of discussion, if we are to believe that is at 3:10, which is what the timestamp shows, and then I told you what happened. 2 people there, the person kind of fades off camera, just out of the view, comes back, and then lights are turned off. If you're to believe that is legitimate, that's a red flag. That is something that law enforcement will take seriously. Now, if it's the trash truck, riddle me this. Please call. Please reach out to, because it's already been done, J.E. McGarity, I believe it is, the trash service there.
That would be McMurtry.
My understanding is the trash trucks enter the neighborhood at 5 a.m. That's my understanding. You can reach out to them and see what they say. That's my understanding.
Yeah, have everybody call
So,
this fucking business.
Do
and
not
ask
call
what-
that, please.
Jesus, what is wrong with them?
I'm going to leave it at this.
So much.
If it happened at 3 a.m, if there were 2 people with light sources walking around the back of that house, that's a clue that is very legitimate and that law enforcement must consider.
Okay.
If it was
Einstein.
trash truck headlights, law enforcement knows that. So I'm going to leave it at that because there could have been, like I said, it depends on the source. We know law enforcement went to the neighbor that had that recording device. We know they took that. I just want to leave it at that because until law enforcement tells us what those lights were, which they haven't, I've looked everywhere, unless we hear it not from any of the parents, but from law enforcement,
Bless
we
you.
can't count on that as
Thank you.
being accurate. And if the
Not a trash
timestamp
truck.
doesn't line up with that 5 a.m., which is when I believe they were in there, and again, please call the trash company if you don't
Oh my
believe me,
God.
and check back to that time, that date on the 26th. There's a problem. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I think it's self-explanatory. Again, Occam's razor.
How the fuck is it self-explanatory? She says again, Occam's razor. In these comments, look at Ann Elizabeth said, Seth said last week it was not a trash truck. And then this person says Seth was shown the trash truck video and told him the lights were zoomed in. Get Seth to tell you what he
That's
saw.
what he said.
I swear you could make a Lifetime documentary out of what Seth said.
I think that's what they're going to try to do.
Look at this.
Because-
SF is not telling the truth.
Bro, do you know how hard this is? I'm just going to shut my yap.
Right, because SF has some kind of skin in the game that would make him want to lie about it.
Look at these
Right.
people. Is SF Subaru Steve? Oh my goodness. Look at this. SF is a fraud. These people, man. And why does she
Those
have
are
that
all
Dupers
Betty's
Delight?
people.
She's got
They're
Dupers
all
Delight.
Betty's.
Look at her.
I mean, you've already seen Betty in their super chatting and stuff. You know, these are Betty's people in this chat that are and people from the green team. Like, this is like the general consensus about how these people behave on all of these channels. If you go watch them, and if you do, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you do, trigger warning, you're gonna lose brain cells. But
I wouldn't recommend.
this is how they do, Jay.
Hey, little bit, you're up here.
Oh, hey.
Hey, girl, what's up?
Oh, nothing. I just wanted to join you guys tonight.
Well, welcome up. What do you think about the
Thank you.
trash truck? Or the not trash truck?
Right. I think we all know that you know, I don't know how I think necessarily about the trash truck. I don't think the trash truck was out at 3 a.m. But I think everybody just kind of needs to um, not be so hard on the bio mom, Katie, and her husband, but specifically on Katie. We don't know. We weren't there. We don't know what happened.
Right. And it's
And
like I said earlier. I mean, don't you think they'd have her car on video if she did something and had to dispose of a body overnight? Like, I don't know
I think it's
why I
been,
never thought of that before. Like, they know every
yep,
vehicle that came in and out,
Yep.
even ones that had Wi-Fi
Yeah, they
on,
do.
cell phones that were in the area, anything like that. So that made me think, and it just popped in my head. Clue, you remember how they came out, like, I don't know when it was. Maybe you'll remember. But they came out and they said, hey, we're asking for more footage from the day before, from the
Yep.
25th.
mm,
Do you remember that?
right.
Yep.
I
So
remember.
I don't remember
Mm-hmm.
how long after Sebastian went missing that they started asking for the 25th footage. But could it be that they ran the geofencing, saw something that wasn't familiar or wasn't supposed to be in the area, and then requested footage to see if there
Or
was a person driving
cars.
around scoping it out.
I
Do you,
think that's
If
a
I remember,
very
it
great
was not very
observation.
long after.
I'm sorry, what? You're
What?
cutting out a little bit,
Oh, I'm
little bit.
sorry. Well, it wasn't very long after, right? That they were asking
I
for
want
extra.
maybe like a week, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, long enough for them to get some digital evidence back, right? Because I thought it was
Right.
odd. Like, it wasn't immediately like, hey, the next day, like, hey, we want to go the day before. Like, something triggered them to come out and say, okay, now we want footage from the 25th. And then it always
Yeah.
bothered me because we know Katie and Sebastian weren't home.
Yep.
And then if you take into account that Chris was at work,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
you get what I'm
And
saying?
Yep.
Jay, I think you're spot on. I think, and also because, like, I don't know, I just, after everything I've seen in this case, you guys, I really think this is a some type of abduction. I really, really
Hmm.
do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more of a planned abduction, but I don't
Oh,
think it's for
that's
most
dude, little bit. You
people.
just triggered something that this chick said tonight. She was
Good.
someone in chat was said to her, said to Coffindaffer, about the date. You guys, the date of the divorce paper.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yep.
why is she saying this? Has got to make Sean so uncomfortable. Because
Yep.
who would be the one that would be, in their feels about that date? Not Katie, dude. She's moved on. Like, she got a new family now. She's not,
Yep.
she's not sitting there sad on that day. She's not the one that said that day ruined her life.
You know, if you think about it and you completely take Sebastian out of the picture, you can't blame any woman for wanting to have a better life for themselves. And I'm not saying anything negative about Katie, but that woman has been through a lot. And there is no um there I don't feel like anyone should discriminate against her because of her past, present, or future. She's just a woman trying to make it in the world. And I'll tell you what, we all do every day into a person other than before.
Hey, little bit,
And
you're really roboting. We can barely hear you. Can you try to drop down and maybe come back up? You got a bad connection.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
okay.
Try to come back up. I'll drop you down. Sorry about that. She sounded like a literal robot. Are you guys there?
Yep.
What was the part
Yep.
I was looking for? I'm sorry, my brain is like.
Oh, the date.
Oh yeah.
I want to
I
see
was
this.
surprised she freaking read it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
because she did the interview with Sean where he got all emotional
Mm-hmm.
about the damn
Wedding album.
Mm-hmm. Okay, she plays like she don't know. Okay, listen. This is where it gets good. All right, you're back a little bit.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna listen to this. You ready?
See, I might have those exact dates really handy here. Very important. Flashlight, barefoot, no jacket.
Here we go.
Just a sweatshirt and sweatpants in freezing weather in February, in the middle of the night. All right. Hey Jude, I didn't know the divorce papers were. Yes, that's something that's I think very important. I believe let's see, I might have those exact dates really handy here. I hate to ever hold up these things, but let me see if I can find the exact date. I don't have that exact date right here, but it was either filed the 25th or the 26th, which coincides with the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. So yes, it does. And certainly if law enforcement comes and says this was a pre-planned situation, not just something that happened accidentally, not just something that, the date's just very, very interesting to me. Just
there is a name in chat, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, with his photo, his name, and it says it was the 26th. Do you see that?
In her chat?
Yes.
Yeah, right
Look,
there.
my mouse
right
is over
there.
at Clue. Look. Who the fuck is that? Is that Seth?
Oh, I'm sure.
Merry Christmas, white boy. What the
Maybe.
fuck? She's like, oh, I don't know if it's the 25th or 26th. And boom, here comes Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers saying it was the 26th, baby.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I will never. I pray every night that it is a situation where Seth just took him.
Yeah, me too.
Because
Is that what happened, Clue?
that means he's alive
Right.
somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
I really
that like
do.
he did this as like a punishment type thing and it got out of hand.
Exactly.
That's my hope and pray too.
But I can tell you, old Betster this morning was talking about a gut feeling.
Oh, really?
When I tell y'all, the gut feeling for me when I met that man staying in that construction site was something is off here with you.
And I remember that. You said that right off the bat.
I sure did.
Day one, you said something ain't right here. And I'll say the same thing. Something wasn't right from day one. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with Clue.
Look at this too.
because
The path says anniversary reaction. And then this person says, yes, that's when Katie filed on Seth.
Yep. Okay, so they say first is who benefits from this.
Right. What are Chris and
Right.
Katie getting from this?
We talked about this the other night.
Wow.
So if you look at each parent and you talk about motive, who would have motive and why? Right? So you could say Chris's motive could be because of the daughter he has in another state. You could say that would be, his motive. Or he's just tired of it, whatever. Katie, you could say, oh, her marriage was on the rocks and maybe it was, a choose him or me. I can't do this with my daughter. And she did it because she chose her man. Or you could say it was Seth because he's bitter. His son didn't want to live with them. He had his life ruined when his family broke apart. And then you've got Sebastian not rejecting him, right? And all these other things that were probably going on with the behavior and whatnot. I mean, all these people on the green team want to say, oh, they could have just given him to Seth. Seth would have taken him. No, he wouldn't have, because a year prior he said, no, I'll wait a year and see if he gets his act together.
Exactly.
You know
He's
something
the
else?
one who said, I'm going to give you a year to get your act together. But now he says, I would have taken him. No, you wouldn't have.
Right.
No, you didn't take him. You know why? He would have had to get up, take him to school, because he couldn't get to online school yet, and then get up and go pick him up from school because he didn't have the online school yet. So who was the only one who never moved on?
Here's what I want to know. I want to
Well,
know why
definitely Seth.
whenever Seth moved back to Tennessee, what was it, like 2 years ago, something like that? Why are all of the CPS reports within 17 months
Right. They didn't
allegedly?
start until he moved to Tennessee. I
Yeah.
mean, that the time frame is fucked. I mean, I'm sure he's jealous. I mean, you'd have to be stupid to say he's not. I mean, they have a nice home. They have nice vehicles. Katie and Sebastian are well cared for. They have nice things. They have a camper. They can go do things as a family. They went and did, like SF said, did music things. They did things with him. I feel like there was jealousy, anger. I think it's like love turned to hate type thing. And
It's a possession.
yes. And that's what we were saying the other night. Like, that's groomer mentality. Like, they don't love them people. They own them people. They own that girl or that whatever, that boy or whatever they groom. They own them. So to lose them is, I mean, he said it. She ruined my life. I mean, and then he said the second time she ruined his life was when his son went missing. And that just so happens to be on the same day. Coincidental? I don't think so.
Not only
I think Sean knows damn well the statistics of the last person to see someone who goes missing is number one suspect.
Not only that, but who within a year of their child going less than a year of their child going missing starts filing lawsuits against random people for defamation and slander.
Listen,
Whenever
jealousy
really
can do crazy things. We were just
Oh, my
talking about
goodness.
the Heidi Broussard case. That girl was murdered by her best friend because her best friend was jealous of her and her life and what she had. Crazy. To the point where she murders her best friend and then takes her baby and takes it in as her own because she faked a whole pregnancy with a fucking pregnancy pillow. I mean, jealousy
Oh my
can
gosh.
make people do some crazy ass stuff.
Mhm.
Things that they never even thought themselves were capable of.
Yep. I believe jealousy goes way further than grief. And
Yeah.
Seth was extremely jealous.
I mean, he'd have to be, dude. He was living homeless while they're living in a nice home in the suburbs of Nashville. I mean, how could you not be? But it's how you handle it, right? And we see how he handles things. Boy.
Yep. And I'm just going to throw this out there. I know we're not really talking about any abuse or anything like that. And I'm not saying, I don't know anything that really happened in the Proudfoot home, but I'll take Seth at his word because he's the one who says certain things. It seems like there was more abuse from Seth than anyone else. Do you guys agree with that?
I mean, some of it's documented. So, yes, I do agree with it because I've never seen any documented abuse from either Proudfoot.
But even his own words, when he goes on panels and he talks about things, he specifically says, he said this or he did this or he showed this or whatever.
Yeah, he's not a likable person, but his abuse is documented. I think Clue can second that.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I've never seen Chris Proudfoot, any documents accusing him or, any ROs against him for abuse. I've never seen that. I know that a lot of the Green team came out and talked about his exes and taunted him with stories, but I've never seen anything.
Nina.
And every time that Seth does come out and talk and he says things,
Little bit, I can't understand you, hon. You got a lot of background noise. Do you have your YouTube muted or?
I don't know. Well, what I'll do is I'll probably drop down, but Can you hear me enough right now?
Yeah, you're good right now. It's every
Oh,
now and then it's cutting out.
it's probably my husband in his tinfoil hat over here. Um, but I just feel like the only person that really had anything to benefit from any of this in his in a just a weird way would be Seth. And I don't know Chris, I don't know any of them, but I do feel like if we sit back and we kind of just look at what each person says, Seth is the only one that speaks with animosity the whole entire time. Yeah, he talks about his son, Seth, Drake, he talks about that. And he always says, I just know my son's not with me. But if you really listen to his words compared to Chris's words, Chris may be harsh, he may be whatever. But if you just listen to the words, I just feel like that the answer is within each person's enunciation, the conviction behind the words. And Seth's conviction behind his words is a lot of animosity. Who cares about what Katie and Chris's marriage was on? We all go up and down in our marriages, but when we have not moved on, and the one and only thing we have to hold against somebody is a child, and that's the conviction I hear behind Seth is the child. How can I hurt her? So
I will say this, I do find it actually pretty amazing that Chris and Katie have managed to salvage their marriage with everything that has been thrown at them. That has to be some strong love right there.
I
Like
agree.
I've seen it. I've seen less rip couples apart.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. Hey, Pearl Girl. What's up?
Hey girls, I can't get over Jennifer Coffindaffer.
What do you think?
I can't go. I think she's a nut. I mean, she's supposed to be this big investigator and stuff. She's definitely, we know what side she's on. I think it's pretty pathetic myself.
I thought it was pretty interesting, actually. I thought some of the things that she said were interesting. I'm wondering why, some of the things were said. I mean, this whole thing with the date blew my mind, honest to God. I mean, look at where it's froze. It says, the date's just very, very interesting to me, she says.
Well, the dates are kind of interesting, but she went back on that restaurant. I
Right.
mean, my God, why are
It's
we
like she got a packet.
picking-
It's like she got a packet to me.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, we just keep on picking this apart. That poor woman just sitting there having dinner, and Sebastian is a teenager. Kids like that, my son was so bony, he looked like his malnutrition too when he was that age.
Sebastian doesn't look malnutrition though. He looks
No.
like a healthy weight.
My brother was the same way. Like he was like skin and bones. Until
Yeah,
Don't
my
you see
son
grown
too.
men- You say grown men that it makes them poor to eat what they're eating.
Mm-hmm.
well, that's what I was saying. My husband's 48, and every time he eats breakfast, lunch, or dinner, he looks like he's starving, and then complains about heartburn later. And I'm like, well, shovel it in.
Yeah,
He
but
was
that kid.
like a normal child.
Oh, he looked like he was wolfing it down. Really? No, he's a young, growing boy.
Well, yeah, I mean that all just defies logic. Let me thank for some of these super chats, so we don't get too far behind. Is that the puppy, Clue?
Not my puppy.
Oh, that's not yours. Snazzy says that Jennifer Coffindaffer is covering her ass from being sued, putting the information out, yet acts uncertain and dumbed down. Could be. Jay Kells says, is she at Tony's with Sean for the holidays?
Oh my God.
Oh, Lord. And then Green Eyed PI said, why would KP and CP ruin their life? Seth is the one who had nothing to lose, not married, lazy worker, didn't want to work, getting alimony, etc., in my opinion.
Oh, I'm not even going to go there.
And then Green Eyed again, GoFundMe on third day. How did you know, Seth?
That's what I said, girl. How do you know on day 3 that you're going to be out of work? Nope.
Yep.
He showed himself from day one. I mean, he's just, oh my God.
Well,
Did
she
you hear
goes
what
on.
Granny-
Wait, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Clue.
Did you hear what Granny said in Queens the other night? That apparently they came into Butter's chat and said that the reason they stopped the searching or couldn't search or whatever was so it wouldn't mess up his disability.
Yeah, he
Oh,
did.
yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man. That's
Well,
why
did you
all those
hear-
accounts are in others' names, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Disability
yeah,
like
he-
what? $500. So all it takes is $500 a month to keep you from searching for your missing kid. Not this woman.
Well,
what
if he
is
gets it
40
from
something years?
if he gets it from work, though, if he has like long-term disability insurance, he would get that as well. And sometimes that's 70% of your salary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's just, in my opinion, this speculation, allegedly, and all the bullshit you want to throw in with that. To me, he's just lazy ass.
Oh,
Why
snowflakes.
were the
That's a good
searches?
point. She said cops kicking him out of the command center.
Yep.
Yeah. And again, why were the searches 100 miles from where Sebastian disappeared? I mean,
Well,
what makes sense about any of this?
he made the remark, well, Katie knows how I am and I ain't changed yet. Well, why would Katie go back?
I'm sorry.
Well, you think,
Touche.
what would she? Why would she? She's got somebody and she's got a nice life. He could have
Yeah.
had one just as well.
Yeah, I just can't see them risking their life to like dispose of their child.
Well,
they're
you know
they're
what?
too.
My
I mean, I think they're. I don't know. I don't want to say something and have to eat my words, but I feel like they're. You know, they have such an intact family that it just. It's just. I just can't see it. But I can see the jealousy and the rage and the anger.
I think the little feller walked off. Now, whether he was lured, whether some friends at school said, hey, let's go out and have some fun.
I thought that
And
we all
something that-
already kind of came to the conclusion that that didn't happen
Yeah, I don't think that's what happened.
with all of
I
the
think
camera
scared
footage
him.
and everything. Like, I thought that it was not being treated like that, more like a criminal investigation, foul play.
Yeah, me too. And Jennifer, she said, well, you know, he'd only had so many clothes and so many shoes and, you know, making it look so bad for that child. That child looked like he was doing pretty good, living in a nice home and parents and, you know, doing their thing. And yes, I guess they are in the military and they've got their own, you know, setup.
Well, he looked very clean, well dressed,
Yes.
cared for. He
Wolfing
wasn't.
down his food like he's starved. He wasn't
I mean,
starved.
every picture, he doesn't look disheveled. He doesn't look unkept. You know, his teeth are nice and white. I mean, that's always a telltale sign for me and a kid.
Well,
When
did
they
you
have
see-
nice white teeth, I know that their parents are like, brush your damn teeth. You know what I mean?
I don't mean to take over nobody's thing here, Chloe and Regina and the other lady. I don't mean to take over anybody, but I wanted to bring this up. Did you say BHB and that woman that said that she went to the roadhouse a lot and she'd see Katie look around this way and then she'd turn around and look this other way?
No, I don't watch BHB, to be honest with you.
Well, I
Especially
don't
to take
either.
her seriously.
But I just wanted to I mean, it just happened right then to be that lady saying that she goes in there all the time with her kids, and Katie's always looking around like she's I don't know where she came up with this lady, but she could have said anything, and somebody said, well, yeah, I can come up with a story. Like that little weasel.
Bing bong.
What? Huh?
That bing bong.
Yeah, the one that lives, you said, close to you.
Unfortunately.
The one that needs a lawn cutting. Well, she goes on and
Yeah.
on about the date, and there's new people. So let's listen to this, what she says about the filing of the divorce of Katie and Seth. And didn't she also file for an RO in that divorce, or was that a different time period?
No, she did.
She did.
Yeah,
She did, yeah.
Okay. So that was quite the shocker. And then I recall Seth telling a story about that when he said he got the RO, and the next day he went to the apartment when she wasn't home to get his 2016 Star Wars computer. He broke the RO to go in her house and get his computer. And I just thought, what a piece of shit, man. Who does that?
Well, didn't he get thrown off of the base, raising hell with
But
her?
I mean, you get a RO and the next day you're breaking it and going in the apartment. That is some entitlement. Like, this is my fucking house. You're still in that mind frame after a judge told you don't go there. That's concerning to me. That shows me Seth is very aggressive and
Yes,
has
he
a
is,
sense
and
of
he-
ownership. And I don't like that because
I
I
don't
feel
either,
like he
'cause-
has a sense of ownership over his son as well. That's my son. I
My
named
son.
him. This is my show.
Look
I'm
how,
sorry,
look
but the
how
needle
weird,
points to him.
look how
But
ready
Jack,
he
how
was. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was wrong of T-Rev to be all doing what he was doing. But look at how ready Seth was to just burn T-Rev to the ground over Michaela. And he knew her, what, a whole month and a half? I mean, seriously,
if
Well,
think
he,
about
because
it.
she has a whole folder of shit
And
on.
y'all know I can't stand T-Fraud. I mean,
No,
T-Rev.
Seth is worried
Okay.
because Michaela's got a whole damn folder of shit and allegedly the CPS shit. So Michaela holds a lot of information, in my opinion.
Well,
One can
yeah, I
only
think
hope
so,
she's
too.
talked to authorities about her information.
And if I was Seth, I'd be worried about that as well. He's run
I'm,
everybody off that's ever even tried to help him.
I'm still 99% sure, though, that T-Rev put her up to getting that information.
I do too. I do too.
well, all that may be possible, but if you still listen to how Seth talks, he still claims Seth as my son, not our son, my son.
Well,
My
Well, that's
son.
not
Seth also,
including her
Seth,
husband's been out here running around. Stephen Crabtree's been going out here and running around. We don't know that the Proudfoots ain't in their part time. I mean, they do get time off. We don't know if they're not out there.
He went on national television and told the world that Katie never loved Sebastian. How more bitter or hateful or traumatizing if Sebastian is like,
dude,
you
he
know, he's
told
got
the
to come home and
FBI
hear that.
polygrapher that she overdosed him. I mean, he accused her of murdering him.
Yeah.
You don't get much worse than that.
Could you imagine being that woman? Could you imagine being a woman that's got somebody that she had a child by, and he would actually say that about their son and make her feel that bad?
You know
I
what?
don't know how much he's even holding it together with all the slander. I don't.
If I was going to know either that Seth was my ex-husband,
I wouldn't
sorry,
acknowledge
I'm
it.
sorry if that's not appropriate to say, but I feel for her in that aspect for sure. That I wouldn't want anyone to know that either. Look, I mean, listen to how he speaks about what's going on.
Oh, I tell you, he's just.
Well, Joanne Hayden just brought something up. She said the GoFundMe and wanting JLR to video his shoulder wrap to make people feel sorry for him and the inappropriate conversations he was having with Terry Lynn and T Rev in the beginning made me question Seth. Let's talk about that
Yep.
wrapping of the
And
shoulder.
the neighbor. And the neighbor. Don't forget the neighbor lady. Day 7. I was there.
What neighbor lady?
Yep, yep.
His neighbor
You
Clue
can-
or who?
The prop thief neighbor. You can call me daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's disgusting.
What?
That's
Mhm.
I didn't hear
absolutely
about that.
disgusting. I'm going to play this video, guys, if you want to mute.
Dude, I didn't know the divorce papers were. Yes, that's something that's I think very important. I believe let's see, I might have those exact dates really handy here. I hate to ever hold up these things, but let me see if I can find the exact date. I don't have that exact date right here, but it was either filed the 25th or the 26th, which coincides with the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. So yes, it does. And certainly if law enforcement comes and says this was a pre-planned situation, not just something that happened accidentally, not just something that, the date's just very, very interesting to me. Just locking it back away, not as a red flag, but interesting as this case develops, if anybody ends up being charged.
That's not a red flag.
It was the 26th. Thank you. Okay, so somebody knows that exact date. I couldn't remember whether it was the 25th or 26th. It was the 26th that those divorce papers between Seth and Katie were filed. And like I said, if this ends up being charged, if there was nefarious action, if this all turns out to be that could have a lot of meaning, is my point. All right.
What do you think?
Okay, so what does it mean?
I don't know how you could say that's not a red flag.
Why is she downplaying it?
I think she's kind of saying it is.
She is, but she isn't, right? Like
I
she's.
thought she said it's not.
She
but
didn't.
If
She said
it
it's
comes out that it was like intentional or
Mhm.
someone took him or something, then it could come into play.
Yeah, that is what she
I
said.
feel like she's talking out of both sides of her mouth.
Lana Kay, can I play it again? She kind of
Yeah.
is. She's like saying it's
Both
very
sides.
interesting. Locking it in the back of my head. If this
is a
turns
bizarre
out to be
interview. I hate
something
that you didn't see.
nefarious.
The exact date. I don't have
Oh,
that.
and then when she says, "Oh, someone does know the exact date," it's that Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers name in the chat.
Exact date right here, but it was either filed the 25th or the 26th, which coincides with the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. So yes, it does. And certainly if law enforcement comes and says this was a pre-planned situation, not just something that happened accidentally, not just something that, the date's just very, very interesting to me. Just locking it back away, not as a red flag, but interesting as this case develops, if anybody ends up being charged. Yeah.
See, not as a red flag.
It was the 26th. Thank you. Okay, so somebody knows that exact date. I couldn't remember whether it was the 25th or 26th. It was the 26th that those divorce papers between Seth and Katie were filed. And like I said, if this ends up being charged, if there was nefarious action, if this all turns out to be that could have a lot of meaning, is my point. All right. Let's see. Can you touch on what the school teachers have reported? Ooh, that's such a great question. I have not read a lot about the school teachers, if they have.
We know all that was fucking fake. But that's who's in the chat. Sebastian Wayne Drake
Y'all, I not
Rogers.
fell asleep. It's my dog snoring.
Okay, Pearl.
Oh,
Sebastian.
I thought it was Brittany. I'm sorry.
Sebastian.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry. I wanted to
What?
make that plain that it's my dog. It ain't me.
Oh, I get it. Brittany and her snoring.
I'm sorry.
Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers
No,
himself.
don't be sorry.
Hold on.
Are you guys done? Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers himself says it was the 26th. And then up here, Carolyn Miller says February 26th, Katie filed against Seth. How do you think
Yeah,
Seth
she's
felt?
reading comments.
How do you think Seth felt reading these?
Can y'all hear her?
No, I can see her mouse moving up and down the comments.
Holy shit, I was muted on the fucking Streamlabs. I'm like, are y'all done? I'm like, are y'all done talking? Hello? Holy shit, the audience could hear me, but y'all couldn't.
Oh yeah, we couldn't hear anything.
What
Oh,
a
that's
shit
funny.
fucking show. I'm like, what are they doing?
You
Jesus.
know you're carrying on by yourself, did
I'm
you?
sorry. Fuck. Now I forgot what I was saying. Oh, what I said was that Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers himself says it was the 26th. And then up here, Caroline Miller says February 26th, Katie filed against Seth. And then up here, anniversary reaction. How do you think Seth would have felt reading that? Like, Seth filed against Katie, or Katie filed against Seth. Like, who would be the bitter one in that situation? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I would say the same one that's bitter now, in my opinion, but
Right. I mean, isn't that
Ding
common sense? Like, I mean, am I looking at it wrong?
well, I think it's weird that
No.
Coffindaffer says not as a red flag. I feel like if I were an investigator, that would be a red flag.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, why is it even being brought up? You know what I mean? Why'd she even address it
Well,
if it wasn't?
to be fair, it's fiance's fault. It's even a topic of conversation.
Does that mean it was in the packet?
I
Well-
think it was probably a situation. I don't know if you've ever had this situation, Jay, where you like start to read a comment and you immediately regret reading that comment.
Yeah, all the time. Well, not all the time, but sometimes, yes.
Yep.
But in that point,
Snazzy.
it's almost like she's flipping her script right there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the date could go either way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could. But you would have to have for Katie to do it, you know, for the date to like, oh, I'm going to get him on that date, you know, like, fuck him. What would be her source of anger or, you know, resentment that she
I
would
don't
do
think
that?
she's
Like,
angry.
right. Like, what would she, you know what I'm saying? Like, the motive just doesn't seem to be there. Like, they helped him
No, it
move
wouldn't be.
there. They helped, you know, they've supported him about, you know, his work and, you know, kind of Chris encourages him or whatever. If that's true, what would her motive
Yeah.
be? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't.
Well, I'm pretty sure it ain't anything that she misses, so she wouldn't do nothing like that to her child. Now, he's the one that's angry. You know, how far would that go? I don't know. I mean, seems like people's doing away with their kids over nothing, but she's not angry. She's got a happy life.
See, I agree with SSD, and everybody thinks I'm tinfoil hat, but she said, do you ever think that they're trying to put Seth at ease when in reality they're closing in on him? Just a thought. What are the
Yeah.
chances?
Yeah. That's exactly how I feel.
Yep.
Are you talking about like Ellie?
Yeah. Ellie. That's how I feel.
What I want to know is why Seth is gonna go in and tell a polygrapher that he thinks Katie likely drugged Sebastian, and then jump right in bed with a team that drugs unwilling people. Like, there's so many red flags with so much that has gone on. It's just one right after another.
Yeah, yeah. You're exactly right.
I wish there was more attention paid to this whole drop him at a gas station. It's so specific
It is.
And
But
it's
Chloe,
not.
look at this. They've run around here trying to find every way in the world to convict Katie and Chris. And it seems like that they've not done any of that with Seth.
So you know what else is
You
weird?
know,
Like she
everybody.
says that the dates aren't a red flag, but then she goes on to talk about a little bit. I'm going to mute you because you have a lot of background noise.
Oh.
She talks about that not being a red flag. And then she goes on to talk about Chris Proudfoot playing with the stupid puppies and getting scratches on his arms, how that's a red flag. And I'm like, this doesn't
Yeah.
even make sense logically.
Which I
No.
could swear somebody said earlier, like, wasn't it proven that it was like a documented or doctored photo or something? Is
Yeah, I
that
seen
true?
that too. I seen that too. I forgot who was playing with their computer and they was trying to draw it up and make it look like kid bites because they said that Sebastian would get angry and bite, you know.
Call me crazy, but until law enforcement comes out specifically and says they have cleared this parent or that parent, they're all suspects in my book. All of them.
I agree with that actually.
Well, what's y'all's opinion about him wanting to be cleared? Ain't nobody gonna be cleared till his babies come home. What was the big demand for him to have to be cleared right, right then?
I'll tell you why. And this is what I think. Because Chris Proudfoot said that the TBI called him and asked if they could let Seth know that he passed his poly because they wanted Seth to reiterate that to the general public to keep the misinformation down. And the TBI called Seth allegedly and said that he, Chris Proudfoot had passed this polygraph and, probably asked him to reiterate that or, stop saying what he's saying. So, I mean, what do you make of that?
Yeah.
We haven't had anything like that and Seth didn't come out and say, oh, that never happened.
No.
Did that happen?
That's what Chris said, and I can't remember where it was. If anybody in chat remembers, there's
Was that on
8,000
Web
interviews.
Sleuths?
I don't think so. I don't feel like it was Web Sleuths because that was when he was like, we could sit down with Bobby and Carter and have this little fucking powwow. It wasn't that one. And he wasn't mad when he said it. I don't remember where he said it. Maybe somebody else does.
I don't know. There was so many interviews in the very beginning.
So Snazzy said Seth possibly had the door codes, knew where the cameras were in the neighborhood. I feel like Seth was in their home eating snacks a lot when they were not home while he was out of work on disability. Thought of that myself.
That's terrible.
I wonder if they started to feel like something was going on, and I don't know, man. Maybe, I don't know. It's weird.
Well, if there was something going on, I know that there was some problems. Sebastian was probably getting adjusted to changing from a child to a man, and they asked him a year ago to do it. Well, I'll give him a year. Why didn't he take him then? Everything that Katie has done, it's not been right. Put him in a school, it's not right. Put him in with a psychiatrist. Try to help him work through stuff. It ain't been right. Said he's moving him from here to there to everywhere, and it ain't been right. Everything she's done, it ain't been right. If he'd have stood up, and this is my opinion, speculations, and allegedly, if he'd have stood up and been the man, she wouldn't have had to join the army. He could have went and done it.
I think Katie joined the army to embetter her life, and I think she did just that. and I agree that I think that Seth is resentful of that.
Navy.
Yeah, military is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. It was her independence. That was the beginning of the end. The minute she
I
went to
think
boot camp,
every,
he knew she was gaining her independence. He knew it.
oh yeah,
He knew
I
it.
think every young girl that a mothers are raising press that you get your education and you stand on your own and don't have to depend on no man. And that's what she done.
Not to
I never
mention,
did.
but it seems kind of weird, raise your kid for 15 years before you decide to off them. I mean, that's kind of weird. I mean, that's 3 years till they're an adult, till move out. You know what I
Yeah, he
mean?
only got 3 years. I mean, couldn't he have moved? I mean, let him live his life.
You know what I always thought was interesting too, Clue, is that one you brought up the gas station thing. Remember that interview he did with Pascal where he was standing at the freaking gas station in the middle of nowhere in the dark?
Mm-hmm.
That was so weird.
With someone in their pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you what's going to come out on the streets next.
Oh, Lord.
So it's no secret I hate Watch Betty.
Oh,
Do
Christ.
you know this lady? Was it today?
What?
We were watching earlier that video of hers.
Yeah.
Is going, sorry, not going to. She is literally trying to spin a narrative that Sebastian.
Don't put that out in the world. Let Betty be the
Okay,
asshole.
well,
that
you'll
says
have to
that.
watch it.
Oh, should I pull it up?
I wouldn't. I would just
It's
watch
that
it.
bad?
It's
It's
that
bad.
fucking bad.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Nope.
And then blames
How does
blames
she
it
keep
on,
getting by with all this evil?
and she puts this out in the damn
She's
ether
not,
and blames
honey.
it on
She's
people
not.
referring her to that theory, and it's fucking crazy. Like she's psychotic.
Oh, is it the one where she was like, we were wrong?
Yeah.
I didn't listen to it, but I saw it. I mean, I saw it was on. She is such a scum. Speaking of that, I did speak to my local police department today. And yeah, I told them the situation and everything. So they're going to write up a report for me and I'm picking it up after Christmas. And then I got some advice on what to do after that. So
You go, girl.
step 1 is taken.
Good for you.
Well, I'm not
But I
sure they
was
have
sorry.
to
What?
I'm not sure they have access to electronics in Sumner County Jail, so she'll be out of commission for a little while anyway.
I was told though that being like a non-domestic violence RO is more difficult to get in Florida. But we'll see. I mean, I guess, you know what I mean? Like the computer thing is still like a newer kind of, they don't really have the set laws, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, for like that type of crime.
yeah, it's harder to get, you know, because they don't just hand those out willy-nilly. But
Y'all,
Yeah.
as long as you
how,
have the documentation and you know the
how did it
longevity,
get this far?
hold on, Pearl, like the longevity of, you know, the things that have been said and done. So
Yeah.
I want to ask, how did it get this far? All right,
you'd have to ask her, Pearl. I can't answer that question.
there's Granny. Her children's been brought up. There's Clue. Her daughter's been brought up. There's these people bringing up all of these kids, and it has no place.
Yeah,
for
I don't
this,
even want to
this
talk
place.
about that, to be honest with you. I don't want to talk about that at all. Like they can do them, but I'm not gonna shed light on it because I'm gonna act on it. So I just feel like it brings more attention to bad behavior.
Well, what's y'all's opinion on when she comes back to court? Will they do anything to her and stop?
I think so.
Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, honey. I feel like they honestly, I really do feel like they will, because I feel like it's
Dangerous behavior, and she's such a great example of it. They can't ignore it anymore.
I mean,
I feel
it's
like
still
they just,
escalating. It's
yeah,
still escalating.
exactly.
It hasn't even plateaued at this point.
No,
True.
like you have a tattoo.
I know, it's fucking wild, man.
Who does that?
Her.
Well, I think
Yeah,
she
that's what I
did.
started to say. Her.
Her. She's the only person that I know that would do that. It's so fucking weird.
Well, I love the child, and I'd love to see him come home. I'd love to see him happy and healthy and all this stuff. But I wouldn't be going out and getting a tattoo so I could get brownie points from somebody.
Runs
Yeah,
with
no, I
Scissors
agree with
says
that.
Jay needs to let Sumner County DA know about the police report. Shit. If I was granted an RO against that bitch, do you know the first place I would have it sent to? YouTube Legal. That would be my first destination.
Well, yeah, just I will say make sure if that does occur that the verbiage of social media is well documented in the paper.
Was that an obstacle, perhaps?
No, but
Could
it's
be.
just a tip. It's a tip, right?
Just to be
Because
specific.
it's a social media platform, right?
Yeah. And they do kind of say that broadly, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah, I like when they break it down. Like that means text messaging, email,
Yep.
YouTube, videos, posts, because even a community post.
Pretty much specifically what that judge said in the recorded hearing that court.
Betty, I never said I loved him. I want him to come back home safe.
Huh?
This lady said, Pearl, you don't love him.
Oh, just ignore chat when you're up here. Don't worry about that.
Is that
If you want
BHB?
to go back and forth, you can go back and forth with them in chat, but let's not let them throw off our convo here.
Well, if they
Because it's
do
kind of
do
important because
something,
the lady's kind of defaming me and shit. So
Well,
if they
so
do something, would it be that she would have to stop running her mouth because she hadn't stopped
I
yet?
don't know. It's up to a judge. It's up to a
That
judge.
is
Well,
I
something.
mean, that's his
That is
decision,
something
right?
Jay could request if there was any kind of legal.
No, when she goes to
Um.
Tennessee, I think she's talking
Okay.
about.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
Well, I just don't know a whole lot about this stuff, but I do know that she was supposed to shut up and she didn't. She's drilling them even harder.
Well, that's how she does. So the question is, will she be held accountable or not?
God,
know?
I hope so.
Well, she said everything about Sumner County. She don't. She lets on like she's pro this and pro that, and she's a lawyer and she's a investigator and forensics and all that she can be, and don't. She's not smart enough to shut up.
No, she just can't help herself. There's a difference. There's a difference between being unchained and unable to control yourself, like no self-control. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She has no boundaries.
I hear she's pro Chili's.
Yeah, I think like,
Did you guys see White Boy's latest?
I did.
yeah,
What the fuck, White Boy? You lost your damn mind.
he's
Holy
so funny.
shit. I was like, what the fuck?
I thought it was pretty good.
He is so funny.
Yeah, he is.
Fucking
I
Matt.
I love that little old Stephen Crabtree. Now he's been out there and he's not been well, so he's doing the best he can.
Oh my
He's
gosh,
been out there with Cletus.
they walked
And
so much today for like the longest time. How I swear, I like
Cletus
finally, I finally texted him. I was like, "Bro, are y'all good? Y'all about done?" Like it was dark when we left.
That's awesome, though.
I
That you
couldn't
guys are
climb
getting out
them
there.
hills and
Hey,
holler
Hey,
like
Clue. Tell Cletus to be sure whenever he goes out there and actually searches for Sebastian to grid off and map the areas that he searches and give that to law enforcement. That can help so much. Believe it or not, it can help so much because if Sebastian is anywhere, if he ends up being anywhere out there, it's areas of the map that are cleared off. You know what I'm saying? If they ever do decide to search around the area again.
They do. They
Yeah,
they track themselves.
yeah.
Yep.
Crabtree's got it tracked, and on top of a map that he had gotten of what law enforcement had searched. So we try not to go over places that they thoroughly went through.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're doing it right. That's awesome.
well, they say to look farther away, but I don't know as many holes and caves and stuff as they dipped down in and looked around. He might have fell in one of them.
Oh, if there's a hole or a cave, they'll find it and go in it.
Speaking of searches, I don't know why this popped up in my own feed, like on my second channel from my first channel. And I don't know if you guys want to stay up, but I wanted to replay some of this. This was a call-in show that I did. This was the first time Julia, Doggy, calls in, and another guy named Tim calls in about dog searching. But then there's some weird things in chat as well. That's interesting. Like Mr. and Mrs. E were in my chat.
What?
Yeah, it's fucking wild. Do you want to watch it?
How's their kid before we get started?
I have no
Jay?
idea. I don't know them. I don't know their kid. I know nothing about it. I don't want to talk about kids. You guys want to watch it?
Heck yeah, because
I'm game. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
I've not seen her.
Kathy is Chris's mother. Majestic, I don't mind you putting that link in chat, but can you just put report cybercrime? Mr. E's Crimecast. Here he is. He says, another thing that hasn't been mentioned at all, Sumner County school kids received an iPad this year. You could take it home, and it did have access to the internet. I know this for a fact. And look there's fucking Annie Banani, that little snake. That's the one that pretended she was dying in my Discord and was trying to grift money. Crazy.
Oh my Lord.
Wow.
Yeah, and look at Mimi says, Mr. E Crimecast. Oh my God, you're kidding. Yeah, I think she's behind that bitter pills. Mm-hmm. Crazy ass bitches. Can you just put that
girl
school website actually? An iPad, the school website. They have a whole section on the iPads. You're so right.
Timothy Dexter.
Timothy Dexter. You are live on air with Jay. What is on your mind?
Oh, great! I didn't think I'd get through.
You got through.
Yeah, my name's Timothy Dexter, upstate New York.
Nice to meet you.
I am a retired police detective.
Nice.
And I was wanting to see if I can shed some light on certain things.
Sure. Look, I have fucking the E's pinned, y'all. What the fuck? This is wild. I would love it. Go right ahead.
Last I heard, you were talking about the canines.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I'm just coming in with my dog.
Oh, no, you're okay.
Yes, I'm a retired canine handler.
Okay.
That's one of the things I did.
Awesome.
And the issue with the dog that jumped in the pond,
mm-hmm.
that sounds like that was the first dog they sent out, and which makes sense because that would be what's called a tracking dog. There are tracking dogs and there are trailing dogs. Most people don't realize that.
What's the difference?
Tracking dogs are like Belgian Malinois, German Shepherds. They track ground disturbance. They're not the kind of dog that you're going to give a scent article to they're going to track the strongest scent or the strongest track, ground disturbance that they can find. And that's usually the most recent and or the heaviest track that went through.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to need a scent article. They're not tracking, that dog wasn't tracking specifically Sebastian. And after that, once that dog goes through, you can't really use a tracking dog after that because they're going to track the handler that went through first.
Gotcha. So if it was
So
not
it's not going to be
walked
reliable
through.
after that.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So after that, you're going to need a trailing dog. Trailing dogs are like bloodhounds, blue tick coon hounds. You present them with a scent. They're tracking that particular, or trailing is how it's referred to. They're picking up.
God almighty, this is May 22nd.
Hey, Jay, I can tell you this, though, as being part of search and rescue and working with search dog teams like Search Dog South and stuff with our team, he is 100% correct on this, what he's saying.
No, I think he knows his stuff. It was just wild
Yeah,
because
100%.
he wanted me, or no, he wanted me to hook him up with Julia.
Oh, that's
It was,
wow.
yeah, dude. After this live,
Love
he hit me
connection.
up on my Google Voice and he texted me and he said, can you give me Julia's number? So I asked Julia, like, hey, she's like, oh, I want to talk to that Tim guy. So, because she calls in after him.
Jay, don't you love getting mistaken for the host of Love Connection?
Oh, I know, right? But do they
Well,
know each other?
everybody-
That's my question. Like, is that dude, her husband or whatever? I don't know who this person is. I didn't even remember his name. There was so much going on at that time. Like,
I was
Well,
just thinking
everybody,
that.
I'm going to get off here. I hope all of you have good Christmas and hope y'all stay well.
you too. Merry Christmas and happy holidays, Pearl.
Y'all too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I thought the same thing. Is that Julia's husband, maybe? Or someone she knows?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Wild.
The little pieces of scent, little particles that fall off people as they go through their daily life.
In the
That's
air,
why they have the big ears.
In the air and the ground, right?
Yes, it could be in the air as well. But mostly once that stuff falls off, it hits the ground. And if it's on grass or dewy grass or whatever, it's going to stick to the grass or dirt or whatever it is.
Okay.
It's a little more difficult once it gets to a paved surface because it's going to blow around a little bit. But that trailing dog, you have to present the article, and it's going to trail Sebastian. So, and how they do that is that's why the dogs have the floppy ears that hang down and the jowls that, with all the saliva. That's like a big scoop as they go with their nose to the ground. It scoops up all that scent.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
You
a
know
German
what?
Shepherd,
That's exactly what that fake Steph said when she
I was about to say,
fucking
bro.
A, dude. She said the same thing about the ears scooping in the same analogy. Like,
Yeah.
something's up, dude. Something's up with these fucking canine people. I'm so glad they're not popping up in chat anymore.
not designed for that because they have their ears stick up and they don't have the big jowls that hang down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how that works. So it makes sense that they would use the tracking dog first. And then from what I'm hearing, I don't know what's true and what's not, 2 or 3 other dogs that were trailing dogs also followed that same path. So it stands to reason that if Sebastian did walk away from the house, which who knows at this point what actually happened, that they would track him and trail him to that pond if that's where he went. From there, it sounds like they didn't pick up any other tracks or trails.
Look, this L person says, is this Steph's husband?
I'm telling you.
Shell goes, no, this is Tim.
I often find it to be a mistake. It's found to be a mistake for if someone's lost or something like that in the woods, for them to call in a non-scent specific dog. Like, it's really just a waste of time.
Well, what's funny is he's saying that it has to be a certain type of dog to do
That's not true.
the tracking, and he's saying like German Shepherds aren't good for that. Is that not what Julia had?
Yes, she did.
That's also who Yoda was, who hunted down Daniel Cavalcante by his scent.
Well, see.
I don't know. He's talking about tracking dogs and trailing dogs. I don't fucking know.
Which is a little disappointing. but at least you kind of got a general direction where to search from there. So does that make sense?
It does. It does. So if he would have, let's say, if they said he walked away out the front door, let's say he went to go meet someone, the dog would have not gone in the backyard. It would have found the scent like from the front door to the road, right? I mean, even if it got to the concrete and it lost it, it would at least take you a different direction, right? So what I'm confused about, Tim, is that we heard the dispatch audio where they said Max dove in the pool and the handler was out of breath. But then we hear that there was no scent. But Chris Proudfoot insists that there was. So I don't know what to believe if they actually really got a scent.
Right.
Or if that's just part of the
Well, he
investigation.
may be confusing because, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
He may be confusing because maybe one of them said, well, it's a tracking dog. He doesn't follow scent, which would be true. He's not, the tracking dog is following. A tracking dog is going to stick right onto the foot, like within a foot left or right of that person where they walked. Whereas a trailing dog, that scent is could possibly move with the breeze.
Mm-hmm.
And especially once it gets to a concrete surface or a hard surface, a lot of times the trailing dog will go way off, like 20, 30 feet off, because that's where the scent is being kind of blown over towards, say, a hedgerow or something like that, where it stops and gathers up. And then so now they're way over there. They're way off the actual track.
Look at Mr. E. Another misconception is that the construction site is close to their house. It is not that close. Seb would have had to pass 20 houses to get there.
He's a liar.
Why is he putting this in my chat?
Because he's painting a fucking narrative.
And you know what's interesting, guys? He created his channel on May 14th. May 14th. May 22nd.
That's crazy. Dude, I'm telling you right now, that construction site is legitimately...
Yeah, I've seen it on Google Earth myself. I mean, I can picture it. I mean, I went down the Google fucking road. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, it's not that close. Dude,
Bro,
wow.
In the backyard, basically. Wow.
By 20, 30 feet. Whereas a tracking dog is not going to do that. They're going to.
Oh, and here's K9 Jules. Jay, did you get my text? Smiley face. I'll call you after this phone call if you're still streaming. Or I'll call after this phone call. So she's predicting that she's going to call in. Here's tit for tat, that little mouthy bitch. God, all these people. What happened to them?
Going to follow right where those shoes hit the grass, or the feet hit the grass.
That makes sense. So what do you?
So hopefully that.
Are you following this case, or do you follow true crime, or?
Yes, very much so.
So
yeah.
do you take your dogs out and work on cases that you're asked to come bring them, or?
No, I'm retired.
You're retired.
Anything I do with my dog, I just throw a ball for him and let him go.
They're living their best life now. What's your dog's name?
Yeah. My current dog is Bo. He's not a police dog. My police dog was 3 dogs ago.
Oh.
he's since passed away.
Aw, well, bless him. Yeah. Thank you so much, Tim.
Another thing.
Go ahead.
Another thing, if I have the time.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know how much time another thing that keeps coming up with this case that's bugging me is the whole investigation versus criminal investigation.
Mm-hmm.
There really isn't any difference. Okay, if you're a cop, you're investigating a case. If it leads to evidence of a crime and you have probable cause, then you make the arrest. If it doesn't, you don't. It's as simple as that. It's not like I start a case and I get to January 12th at 15:36 hours. Now it's considered a criminal case. It doesn't work like that. There's no difference.
Okay.
You start a case and you start investigating it. Now maybe other jurisdictions, maybe they want that specific thing so we can call it a criminal case. I have never seen that. I've never used that. And I've never seen any other jurisdiction that I've worked with look at it that way. It's an investigation. I mean, anything can turn into a crime. You could go to a motor vehicle accident where nobody's hurt, but as you're going along, you find out, well, this person was mad at this person because they cut him off in traffic, so they T-boned him on purpose. Now you got a crime.
Right.
But it's not like at that point.
Yeah.
Right. So as you go where the evidence leads. You develop a theory. You try to disprove the theory if you can. If you can't, you have enough probable cause to make the arrest. You do. In this case, as far as searching the house, you don't have to say, well, now it's a criminal investigation, so now I can search the house. If you got enough probable cause to get a judge to sign a search warrant, then you can search the house. Or what I would hope in a case like this is the parents say, go ahead, search my house, do what you got to do. We got to find my kid. So it's not. I've never seen that where it's got to be one or the other, an investigation or a criminal investigation. Does it change anything that a cop would do?
Gotcha. That makes total sense. I have a couple of things I want to run by you, if you don't mind.
Sure. And I'd like to say that I've been listening to you, and a lot of the stuff you say is right on it, and other people aren't really saying. I can't think of any specific examples, but a lot of times I'm like, oh, glad she said it.
Really? Buttering my ass, huh? Oh, I've been listening to it. Everything you say is spot on.
Because nobody else has been saying this, and for someone, I'm assuming you weren't a cop.
No.
So you got a pretty good head for it. So
well, thanks. Oh my God, you have a pretty good head for being a. Come on, this did not age well.
I appreciate that. So yeah, shoot, what do you got?
Okay, so my first one is they searched that landfill a week into the search for Sebastian. They would need probable cause to search a landfill, right?
They would need a warrant.
A warrant, I mean, which would mean probable cause, but
yeah, you would have to have a certain amount of reasonable cause to believe that you're going to find evidence there. So yes.
Could that be something as simple as the garbage man said their can was heavier the day that he went missing versus other times that he's picked up their trash? Would that be enough if you've got a missing kid and you've got the garbage can was heavier? Would that be enough for them to go in there and be able to search?
I would say so. I mean, you still got to get it by the judge. It's going to be up to a judge, but that would give me cause to want to search for it, as long as we can pinpoint where the garbage was dumped. I mean, just with that, I don't think I'd go searching the whole place. But if we could narrow it down, yeah, and it doesn't sound like they did a really killer search with that. I mean, we've done them where you got a hazmat team and everybody's in hazmat gear.
Yeah, they were literally kind of just raking through one area. I don't know, what they were looking for, but we had a girl in Michigan that went missing, and they knew the guy confessed, and he said he dumped her in this landfill, or in a dumpster, and she went to this landfill. They never were able to recover her, and they searched for 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be tough. I mean, they do. I know in New York State anyway, they keep very good records of where they're dumping stuff when and what's on top of it, because those get to be like 50 feet deep. And not only can they tell you the grid as to, 2-dimensional, but they can tell you 3-dimensional where they think it might be. They're pretty good about that.
Yeah, I did hear that they said that they the garbage, whoever took the garbage to the dump was actually able to identify for cops where he dumped it, that neighborhood's garbage.
Yes, I did hear that as well. Yeah, so that that might be why they didn't have to do too extensive a search. That they may have found, from what he said, they might have been able to find. Well, this is the neighbor's garbage, so it would be right near here. It would take some investigating as to who threw out what. It would have to be something specific. Somebody might be able to identify something that they threw out, a certain kid's toy or something. And that's the neighbor's toy right there. So it would be in this area, and we're not finding anything. So that might be why it was a short search.
Gotcha. The other thing that I'm curious about is it was said that Katie and Seth both went to the TBI a few weeks back, and they were shown this video and the trash truck or ruckus video or whatever you want to call it. And it came out, Chris Proudfoot said that the DA was there at the TBI with them viewing this footage. And do you think that if the DA is involved, that it is moving towards, more of like they're heading towards, they do have a suspect in mind, or a crime occurred, something like that? I mean, is it normal for them to involve the DA like that?
Yes, the DA does get involved on pretty much anything, especially if it might be a felony or something like that. We would call them and tell them what we have, and they, in some cases they would come out and observe us while we work, and the CSI guys, the evidence guys, they could say, hey, can you back that up or get a picture of that? But yeah, usually when they get involved, it's not for nothing. It's usually for something that they think may end up in court someday.
Interesting.
That's been my experience. Different departments might work differently, but our department was, usually if we had a serious incident, or I did a lot of...
That's a good point. If you think about it, if Sebastian was simply a runaway, why would the DA be involved?
You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then look at Jules talking her bullshit. Look at this. If they approached the landfill and asked about searching based on an employee tip, the trash man, if they cooperate, they don't need a warrant. Maybe PA is different. Ugh, I can't believe I even entertained this.
Search warrant. There was a search warrant for that.
Right. I just can't even believe I entertained her. Look at her. Damn, I want a 3-way with this caller, but I'm waiting for my one meeting person. Wait. Damn, I want a 3-way with this caller, but I'm waiting for my one meeting person to call me back. LOL.
What the fuck does that mean?
I have no idea. Lady tit for tat. He sounds cute.
Jesus.
Here's Jules. Not unless they had cooperation from the landfill initially. At least that's how it is in PA. Good Lord.
Child abuse, sexual abuse with kids cases, and just about every one of those cases, I would be calling them. And we had two specific ADAs that we worked with, and we would call them and say, hey, this is what we got. What do you think about this? And,
yeah. So like,
as they trusted us, and we trusted them.
So as you're working through the evidence, you kind of present it to them as you're going to kind of let them know where you are in the case and everything like that.
Yeah, number one, so they don't get surprised Monday morning that, oh God, you should call me on this. And the other thing is just, so they would trust that we're doing the right thing, and we could always, two heads are better than one. Get somebody else that from that, their mindset's a little different than ours. As police officers. So to get their mindset on this, and it was very helpful.
I appreciate you answering that. Do you feel like, with your experience and what you're seeing from law enforcement, which we're not getting a whole lot, but the fact that we're hearing Seth talk a lot, and he's saying that law enforcement won't communicate with him, which I can understand just by how much he talks online. That's a kind of a no-brainer. So it's hard to say if it's because just that, or because if your child's missing, if my kid was missing, I would be like at their door every day, like, have you heard anything? I might even not leave the lobby. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I want to know everything. Right. If that phone rings, I want to know if it's about my kid. That's just me. I've never been in that position, but what do you think about him saying, like, oh, they won't talk to me, they won't talk to my PR guy? I don't know if you know about the PR guy and if you have any thoughts on that. Yeah. That you would be wanting to share. It's up to you. Whatever you're comfortable with. But I'd like to get your thoughts just overall of what's going on.
Not a big fan of Phony Bony Tony there.
TikTok Tony.
Not a big fan of Phony Tony. Oh, Tara Lynn has entered the fucking chat.
Well, I went my whole career and I never had anything this big. I'm not from a big city. I'm from a city, but not a big city. Mm-hmm. Just from my experience, I got to the point where, especially with the child sex crimes, you don't know who you can trust. You don't know who the suspect is. You don't know.
Why is he bringing up sex crimes, y'all?
I don't know. That's your friend calling in.
Damn you, Clue. Look at. She said, I want to hang out with this guy when I'm back in PA. Dude, this has got to be her hubby. Why would she say that? What the?
You would think that a victim of your child is a victim of a sexual assault, that you would be pretty cooperative with the guy investigating it, but you'd be surprised how many times they do everything they can to shut the kid up and protect the suspect and or marry the suspect while he's in prison. It's ridiculous. So my general thing I would tell people right off the bat since they walked in the door is, I'm not telling you anything. I'm not telling you anything. When I'm done with the case, I'll explain it all to you. But until then, I never had anything this high profile. I probably wouldn't be able to get away with that in something this high profile.
Yeah.
But I would do everything I could, especially Seth, because he just kind of runs at the mouth. And Katie's disappeared, but Chris, he lets his temper. Both those guys let their temper get the best of them, and that's when people start talking and saying stupid stuff when their temper gets riled up. Mm-hmm. So I would push for not telling any of those three anything, especially and as far as Mr. Mathis, I wouldn't tell him anything which he doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, so. I felt the same way. Like, who does he think he is? And he wanted like the PIs to filter all the tips through him and stuff, and I just thought, this is a mess.
No, that wouldn't happen.
Do you think that law enforcement is okay? So this is what I often wonder, and I don't know if you can answer this or not, but I'm going to shoot anyways. I always wonder, if they're watching these things that go on, on social media, not necessarily, the drama part of it, but, are they watching these interviews? Are they watching,
yes.
What these people are saying and comparing it to what they told them when they questioned them, things like that?
I would be now. When I was working, I was not so much into the social media stuff at all. Like I'm like within the last 2 years, I really started getting into YouTube, and I don't know how prevalent YouTube was and this kind of the web sleuths type of situation was when I was working. And like I said, I didn't have anything nearly this public going on. But if I were them now, yes, I would be all over it. I would be so immersed in this that I would be listening to every show, whether I was working or not. Obviously, when I was working, I probably wouldn't be able to listen much, but I would constantly have my earbuds in and be listening to shows, and it would be continuous unless I was sleeping.
Do you feel like, I know that the tips that are called in from rumors online are probably, something that hinders and because they have to look at those tips or whatever, and that's a waste of time. But do you think that the people, when, like people who may be suspects come online, do you think that it makes their job any easier by kind of hearing them tell their stories over and over and over without being, sitting in an interrogation room?
Yeah, I would love it because there's no Miranda, they can, whatever they say, basically hold it against them. And especially, especially like Chris, when he gets tweaked, boy, he goes off, and I would be saying, yeah, tweak him some more.
Right.
the more they talk, the more chance they got of slipping up. Because I think there's something going on. There's something. I can't figure this case out because every avenue I take, I run into a dead end with any kind of theory that I come up with. But one thing I can say is I think that especially Katie and probably Chris, they're withholding something just from a statement analysis point of view. That first interview with I can't think of the girl's name there. She's not the one where they were holding hands. The second one where Katie was rocking.
Yeah, where I told him to go to bed and he did. That one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Katie looked like a hostage in that. I mean, there's, and that's another thing I found that I know everybody says everybody reacts differently to these serious situations, but every case I've ever had, and I've had hundreds and hundreds of cases, every case where I said that person's not acting right, they were guilty. Could I prove it every time? No, but I never had somebody that rubbed me the wrong way like that and they didn't have something to do with it. So I defer with people that say everybody acts differently when, to a situation like this. There are certain things that a missing child's mother is going to do in an interview, and Katie didn't do any of those.
Yeah. Do you think that it would be taken into consideration if she, had a lot of like sexual abuse in her childhood and she learned to kind of just, keep everything inside and not really show any emotion and just compartmentalize it? Do you think that could be like a coping mechanism for her?
I would think that you're protecting your child would override that at some point. Just in general, I ran into a lot of people that their parents were criminals and their grandparents were criminals and now they're criminals. And, I would tell them, look, at a certain point, right from wrong. You're a grown man now. You're 30 years old. You can't keep using that as an excuse.
Yeah.
You know what's right. You know what's wrong. If you choose to take the wrong path, then you get the consequences. And so I would think that at this point in her life that, I don't know, just she's got to step up and be a mom. And I wouldn't accept that as an excuse myself, but I could be wrong.
Well, I appreciate you, giving your.
I don't like this. Mr. E's Crime Cast. This is the best caller ever. This guy, Lime and the Coconut. This guy should be on panel with Julia. Just a thought. This is great. And then Julia says, I need to hook her up with him. Can you link me up with this guy? I want to ask him about some out-of-state PD laws and such. This is so wild.
Google him.
That's a good idea.
All right, I will. Let me keep playing.
Your opinion on that. That's a lot of people are agreeing with you in the chat. I do have Julia on the chat. I'm not sure if you've seen her. You've been following the case, so you probably have, right?
That's the canine handler?
The canine handler. Yeah, she wants to link up with you, and I would love to have you guys both.
Awesome.
Would you be willing to come back on the show with Julia?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd love to. She probably knows way more about it than I do.
Well,
but
she definitely wants to talk to you, and I would love to link you guys up, and then, we can talk some of this stuff through, and I would love that. You guys are so amazing with your knowledge and your theories and talking us through this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I think she seemed to really know what she's talking about, and she's got way more credentials than I ever thought I had.
I know we call her GI Jules.
Nice.
So yeah, if you don't mind, I'll give her your number, if it's okay, the number you called in on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that okay? All right, I'll do that.
Yeah,
and then,
absolutely.
I'll text you as well, and maybe we can set up something in the next few days or something when you guys have time. An hour and a half, or whatever you have time for. It'd be wonderful. I'm so appreciative of you calling in.
I don't know what I can add that you wouldn't know, but yeah, I'd be willing to do that. Absolutely.
Well, that's nice of you to say. I can't wait to have you guys both on.
I can't find him.
Yeah,
as
give me my number and we'll take it from there.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, Tim. Thank you again for your call in. It was great.
And thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hey, say goodnight to Bo for us too.
Bo. I'm such an asshole. Dude, I'm such a freaking asshole. Say it to Bo for us. Dude, they're like, they're like, hook, line, and sinker. We got this bitch. Good God.
Oh, they did too.
They did. Look at
Holy
Jules.
poo.
Now I'm blushing and embarrassed, laughing my ass off. Look at the ghost. Oh, Julia's also from PA. The dog handler pops up. This is a match made in heaven.
Wow.
Can you say
not me?
Can you say played?
Played.
Motherfucker, man.
Girl, it sucks.
And
but
I'm not usually naive, dude. This shit pisses me off.
They're slick.
They are slick. Damn LARPers.
Damn LARPers.
Pisses me the fuck off. Look at, she puts, oh God, he knows who I am, laughing my ass off. It's her
Why
fucking
would you
husband.
even act like that? Like, cringe. Don't she have a husband?
Mm-hmm. I think it's
Allegedly.
him. She's probably flirting with him via this fucking call-in show. Weirdos.
Yeah.
Fucking
If
larpers.
that's not her
Oh, we're gonna
husband,
role
she's
play
sure
tonight
acting
and act
awful
like we just
thirsty.
met. Hey,
I was about to
big
say your
boy,
call-in is
you
like
want to
their
go?
foreplay.
Yeah, hey, big boy, you want to go searching? Come on, Tim Dexter. Dexter, what's that fucking show, Dexter? What's his name?
Dexter.
I've never
Dexter.
watched it. I know, but doesn't he
Oh,
have like a
you've
full
never
name?
watched it?
Mm-mm.
Dexter Morgan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dexter
Yeah.
Morgan.
I've
Okay.
seen every episode.
But Timothy Dexter, I don't see any Timothy Dexter in New York. That was a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Oh
saying.
my God. Bro.
You think it'd
like,
come up like something.
Yes, absolutely. We did. We had to do
Oh
the
my
same
gosh,
thing with that
Jay.
Detective John, remember? And there's nothing about him being a cop in Florida.
Jay, you got staged up like T-Rev style.
I
Holy
did.
crap.
I did, man. But dude, they play a
Holy
good game. I mean, you heard everything he said.
wow.
Dude, I'm trying
Yeah.
to tell you right now, like, I think that Julia thought she was going to use her womanly wiles on Truth and get him to, like, I don't know, like, just
Like partner up with.
talk or something. Yeah, because she, like, emailed him. So he tells me one day, he's like, so don't be upset. Okay, what's up? He's like, this Julia girl has been emailing me for like 2 weeks, and they have been she's talking about Terry Lynn and them planting evidence on your property. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And you remember we had, like, I got into it. I confronted Julia on Queen's panel, and then the next day we were on your panel. I was throwing up for like 8 hours, remember, with Terry Lynn up there, and she was scrolling through all of those messages
Yeah.
from
How could I
Julia.
fucking forget? Yes. I'll never get that time back.
You know, Julia, whatever her name is, she sent me, like, I don't even know who the woman really is, except that allegedly she's this dog handler that's documented, certified, yada, 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 etc. Okay. She starts sending me all of these uh, X messages, Twitter, X, all of these X messages griping about how Terry Lynn's gonna rat her out to the mayor and tell her she's a fraud and this, that, or the other. And I'm like, girl, hold on. I'll pray for you. Look, I don't know what you got going on, but I'm no part of that. Just yeah, you sound like you need a lawyer. But then she slaps a she signs on to this at night lawsuit. Like, what?
Yeah, and
Oh,
she
not even
mentions
who
me.
you was
Well,
griping
trust me,
about.
I
You was
know.
griping about Terry Lynn.
Well, she mentions me in line 12, so she may regret that. Just saying.
Yeah, remember she was deputized through the U.S. Marshals?
Yes. Sending out fake forms with TBI info, sending me fake texts between her and what is it, Detective Carter or what's his name at the TBI?
Yeah, I think it's Carter. Well,
whatever one at the TBI, she sent
TBI?
me texts. And she actually had
But
Sumner
like,
County.
Terry Lynn went harder at Julia than anyone. And Barbecue and Granny gets a lawsuit? I mean, come on. Are you kidding me?
Kels just said none of us can ever get that fucking time back, Jay. You're right.
No.
That was selfish of me. We will never get that time back.
But they're literally talking in the background. I'm talking about thousands of messages. Dude.
Oh my God. On 2 phones.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, but Terry Lynn is in some stuff on this case, in my opinion. They all are.
Mm-hmm. All of them.
Look at this screenshot that I got from, I want to say this was this live earlier when it came up in my feed, the one we're watching. But look at this. Let me close that really for a second. Look at what K9 Julia says to Tara Lynn in this chat.
You got to read it to me. I can't see.
All right, so it says, it's quick, but it says, Terry Lynn, we are natural night shifters, LOL. That was in,
What?
yeah, because Tara Lynn was saying she was going out to search. And she says, at Terry Lynn, we are natural night shifters, LOL. So when did things go awry with these bitches? You know what I mean?
Say that one more time.
When did things go awry with these bitches?
I'm not convinced they have.
But allegedly, it was when Julia refused to let her dog sniff some stuff.
Yeah, she told. Yeah, you're right though, Regina. That's what she told me. Like, I'm sick of holding on to this shit. Because then she would go live and go, I need a dog. I need a dog. Remember? All psychotic and shit.
Yep.
Town, dude. Started howling at the moon.
Good God.
So she became one.
Wow.
That tracks. This is crazy, dude. I tried to look. You want to know what's insane? Is I remember me and you talking about if this case is here, it's going to become insane.
Yeah.
Tell me, it's something different about these folk up here in Tennessee, Jay. I'm telling you
Dude,
right now.
I'm telling you, I'd never seen nothing like it. Like, I thought Summer Wells was wild. It's nothing like this. Like, I've never seen so much misinformation and division. You know what I mean? Like, the Wells weren't divorced with, like, step parents, and it just adds to the fuckery. And then you got Chris and his ex, and you know what I mean? There's just, like, so many fucking fucked up dynamics everywhere you turn, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone involved in this case has some kind of fucked up shit going on, or had fucked up shit going on at some point.
Someone said, do you think she's howling on a bridge tonight?
Oh my God, I almost spit out my pop. In her leggings?
I'm eating Twin Snakes candies and I almost choked on a snake.
You know, and the Wells didn't grift for money. Like, honestly, creators were fucking awful to the Wells. Like, Josh Gumballs, him and Chris McDonough. I don't know, some of you guys may or may not remember this, but they were live and they were fucking around. They waited till Don Wells was drunk. They got him on a stream, on a live, and Don was showing his ass. He ended up getting in a fight with his wife, Candace. He ultimately got in the car to go get more booze. I think she took his booze. They called the police, and they had him arrested and thrown in jail. And they egged on. Yeah. And on that panel, they egged on everything that happened that led to those two people fighting, knowing they're on substances, knowing that they're on edge, knowing their kids were taken by social services, knowing that Summer's missing. And then it caused this big rift because Candace was like, quit drink or whatever, took the bottle, and then he got in the car and started driving. They called the police. It felt like a setup.
It sounds like a setup.
Sounds like one.
And yeah, I mean, he shouldn't have gotten in the car drunk, but these people should not have been, egged on and taunted like that.
Well, yeah, and then them losing his job because Moose and Blowhard.
It's like, are they gonna do this till they kill themselves? Like, what's their, as Brittany Butterhead says, what's your end goal, y'all? God, I can't fucking stand these. I can't stand their noises anymore. It's like, just stop, please. Fuck, let's get back to the damn dog handlers.
I will. He's right here with
All
me.
right. I love the dog, so you're going to learn that about me real quick. All right. Have a good night, Tim.
All right, you too. Bye.
Fucking Tim.
All right, Julia, if you want to call in 727-755-6001.
Here we go.
I know, Julia, you're so funny. I know, with us at Before Hours. I didn't want to scare him off right away. Thank you so much, Tim. That was awesome, and I appreciate you giving us your insight. It's awesome.
Fuck.
Julia, give me a call. Let's talk for a few minutes.
That's annoying.
I like it.
It's too long. It's like your
Julia,
clutch your pearls.
727-755-6001. How was the quality of your call? It was good. Yeah, that was an awesome caller. I love getting like news, or not news, but you know what I'm saying. I like picking the brains of law enforcement officers. Me too, Austin.
Fucking LARPer
Thank
on
you,
the other
titties.
end of the call. Damn it.
Francine says that was the best call of the night.
You're awesome.
It's above Jay's head. 727-755-6001. Terry, welcome back in. Terry, did you like that? You were here for Tim. Awesome. I wasn't sure if you were still here.
Fuck, she probably knows them.
Call from Olivia.
Hello, you are live on air with Jay.
Hi, Jay. It's Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
How are
I'm
you?
good.
Oh, who's this?
Okay, I have a couple of things.
Hey, Granny.
So first,
Hi.
what I think is
What
I
the
think
hell's
the parents
going on here?
are holding secrets on each other. Like, I feel like
Hold
they
on,
have
let me
something
pause.
that they're not sharing. And so,
Is that Granny calling on the phone too?
No, Granny's here. Granny's here. Hello, Granny.
Oh shit.
I'm just trying to get clarity of what the hell's going on right now. I'm so confused.
Okay, so
Hi.
we're replaying May
Hey, beautiful.
22nd call-in
Oh
show.
my God, my own background noise was going too. So I'm like, hello, can you hear me? But it was my, okay. Okay, so you were revisiting an old stream.
Yeah, May 22nd. First time
shouldn't have
Julia
been-
called in,
Okay.
and in what sounds like
And
maybe
her
her
husband.
husband. Mhm.
Okay, it shouldn't have been that difficult for me to
Mm-hmm.
figure out. Good golly. All right.
It was
I'm, like, sitting
interesting
here, I'm like,
because
"Is this old
Mr. and
now?"
Mrs. E are in the chat, and they're like, "Oh, you know, this is the best caller." Like, it's weird because if you look at Mr. and Mrs. E's YouTube, they started at May 14th. This is May 22nd, and they're in here
Wow.
telling my chat that it's almost, you know, not really a, you know, probable that Sebastian went to the construction site because it's too far. So pretty
Oh,
wild.
interesting. They used to
Mhm.
be friendly with me too.
Are you
It's funny how
serious?
that works out. Yeah,
Isn't
man.
that weird, man?
They even one time Betty's Moz blocked me and he even made a post like, I unblocked you, you know, we respect you over here. Uh-huh.
Isn't that freaking wild?
Apologized to me and everything. But my attorneys that I don't have finally filed.
Oh, that's
So,
amazing. Good for you.
yeah, I'm excited.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Right?
Yeah,
It's funny they have to deal with all of this right around Christmas too, you know.
absolutely.
But sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt the show. I was just like, what? I just couldn't
It wasn't
figure out what was
registering.
happening. Yeah, it just wasn't.
No,
Damn
we're
rapid
not
paper.
we're not interviewing canines. We're done with canines like 8 months ago.
I'm
No, but
still
it
baffled.
is. I'm really interested in, because I mean, like, I don't really travel around the streets that much. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. And I've been trying to branch out more. I think it's really interesting hearing and seeing some of the people that were in your chats. Like,
Mhm.
It is.
were they on your channel too, Granny?
I don't remember. I mean, like I said, we were cordial with each other.
It'd be interesting, Granny, to go back on ones that have the live chat still and see.
It would. I know I was being petty and I took a lot of the live chat off to avoid people attacking my subscribers. Like, it just so happens today that a chatter I've never seen before makes a very serious threat to Brittany J that happened to be screenshotted, you know. So I went back when they filed this litigation. I removed the live chat to try to protect the chatters. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going
Yeah.
to come for my people type of shit.
Well, I can tell you personally, the first time I ever saw Julia in my chat, and it was the day that I was putting out the business on her production company.
The first time we had her was Mother's Day, because I remember thinking, God damn, just go spend time with your mom. Like, she was up there crying and shit, and we coddled her, circled back to coddling her. I mean, it was like an endless stream of like coddling, to be honest. And that was Mother's Day.
Wild. May was a wild month for this case, honestly.
Fuck, every month
It
is. I'm
was.
sorry.
You're right, every month, but May was when Tony came in, this Julia
Oh
shit.
yeah.
There was like, it was like when things got weird, because in this thing, I'm already talking against Tony. And that
You know
motherfucker's
what?
only been on the
They probably
scene for
can't
2
hear you,
weeks.
babe. You gotta speak up.
That was something that I found really interesting. Was it wasn't too long ago we were trying to figure out when Tony came in, and the general consensus was May, and I think it even says that on that lawsuit and the contract part. It says that he came on board in May, but the other night he mentioned that they went to that sighting in North Carolina, as if he went as well.
That's
Ooh, no,
interesting. He went with
Seth went
Michaela.
with Michaela. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it was, I don't know, it was weird because I'm pretty sure Tony came in at around the beginning of April.
Yeah, I can tell you the exact date because as soon as he stepped in,
I
I
want
did
to
a
say
whole
it was
stream.
the 9th or the 10th.
Yeah, because I did a stream called "Who's Tony Mathis" because he was on TikTok and they were going to pay for Nina Glass.
Oh yeah, that freaking.
Yeah, look in the beginning of
Yeah,
May.
they had that GoFundMe. Yep.
Yeah, so I did a little deep dive, and literally titled Seth Rogers, Tony Mathis, the new green team. Here it is, right here. Let's see. And that was after Julia because I have the fake dog handler. All right. This was, well, there just says 7 months ago. Doesn't give, May 16th. So he came around like May 9th-ish or something.
Interesting. And here on May 22nd, this guy calls in and says, "Oh, I don't trust that Tony guy." This Tim says, "Oh, I don't trust Tony
Right.
Tony
At this
Baloney."
At this
And
point,
then
I'll
he.
be
Go ahead,
sorry.
Granny. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, at this point, I'd be quite honest. If it wasn't for like knowing that like Clue and Cletus and Stephen Crabtree and even SF Fisher are like actively, searching, I starting to question if any of it was even real.
Me too.
Like
I'm
I've
with
gone
you.
that like this just doesn't make fucking sense. Like all these actors, all these people that are intertwined, all these weird fucks from up here where I'm at in Pennsylvania that are somehow connected. It's weird. It's weird. I mean, I know that's a stupid thing to say. Obviously, I know he's real. I know it really happened, but you get the sentiments. Like it's just so odd. It's an odd cast of characters.
Yeah, and it
Well,
feels like
really-
they're all connected in some way.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's really funny because I remember, was it Voices? I think it was Voices. It was either her or Cheesy on Queens one day. And I mean, she was pretty like upset, like pissed. She's like, I think they're LARPing. She's like, I've seen this before, and I'm telling you,
I think
they
it
are
was
LARPing.
Voices. I think it was
Yeah,
Voices.
Voices was going to fuck off on him.
Yeah, like she was really upset. Like, I can't believe you guys are falling for this. Like, and I mean, at that time, I'm like, I mean, I don't know, maybe the lady's like a real dog handler, but no, she called that mess like for real. Cause I mean, I remember that day being on Queens and she sent that paperwork. Everything is typed, right? Everything on it is typed except for the date. Talking about where she was deputized with the marshals. And I'm like, that's just off to me. It was so weird the whole time. Like, I don't know.
It is weird. I agree. I'm trying to find the first video I did on TikTok, Tony.
Some of this really looking back on it is starting to feel like an overacted play. Like it's been planned out methodically and
Yes.
screenwritten. Yeah, it really does.
It's like a
It does.
screenwriting think tank gone fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, and then somebody was, Lord have mercy. Somebody told me the other day that Tony, what was the comment he had made? Something about someone being a bridesmaid in his sister's wedding. Do you remember that?
I do remember Tony saying something. You're talking about Tony?
Mm-hmm.
I do remember him saying something about in Joplin or something. that they live down the road from each other. And I do remember something about
It was on one of
Bridesmaids.
Seth's lives, if I'm not mistaken.
Like, how long? I mean, I'm sorry, but at this point, asking any question is not off limits, in my opinion. Have they known each other? Have Tony
Mm-hmm.
and Sean known each other?
No, they both just smell money
Ugh.
and end up at the same place.
You know,
I
I've
mean,
thought of that, but then it's like, okay, Tony was nosing around in Idaho 4. Then he was, with Caleb Harris's case.
Other missing kids on YouTube or Facebook he was trying to get involved
Yeah,
in.
fishing in their groups, like have the parents contact me. I think he's just a leech.
But I do think Tony is intertwined with others, and that's why he is the one that accepted Nick's offer. Excuse me, because I think he's intertwined with like Nina Glass and Julie. I think Julie even comes into it, to be quite honest. I think they're like a bunch of people that seeking out to become exactly what Tony thinks he has become, which I love that my attorneys refer to him as a self-entitled spokesman.
You know, it's almost like Seth is the head of an octopus and they're all the tentacles that reach out into everything.
Well, yeah, I guess that's precisely what it would be, right? Because he's the boss, they say.
It's like a web, a web that just reaches into everything.
It's just amazing how many like failed actors and actresses there are.
It's
Oh,
wild.
yeah, I forget. Silvers, too.
Yeah, that POS. And then I think this, what's her name? Julie?
Yep.
I think she thinks she's some kind of fucking comedian, too.
Well, and I will. Oh, you're talking about the not
The parody
not the
lady.
Cold brick.
Oh, Jesus, fix it.
Right?
Yeah, there's something wrong with that woman, seriously, and I don't know how people pretend that type of behavior is even close to normal. But you notice how they immediately crumble when they get a little tiny. I mean, also what he said was, "I'm a real mother of children with all," and she lost her shit over
it was
that.
ridiculous.
They used her own logic back at her, and she fucking hysterically cried. But
She's deplorable. Then she called her kid in. She's like, hold on. She gets out of bed and she's like, hold on. I'm going to bring him in here. Yeah, she was in her bed like Betty. And she goes,
don't tell me the more vulnerable one.
Yeah. She goes, I'm going to bring him in here so he can hear what I'm not a good mother. She's a fucking psychopath, dude.
I went off on her today for that. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just.
I had to skip past it. I couldn't even watch it. I'm like, this is fucking deplorable, man.
The one that she puts videos on sometimes?
Dude, yes.
Oh, and I felt horrible even saying to my daughter that people said she was trolling as a missing kid. And she's 18.
No,
and,
it was.
Not. Wow.
No, it was bad.
Wow.
So now she's making videos about me. Well, she can fuck directly off.
Oh, well, I did hear. Who was playing where? Was it? It was last night, right, Clue, where they were playing where she said, I'm working with authors and they have attorneys.
Yeah, she also said she was calling Nick on me.
Does she understand
She
not
called
how that works,
Seth
though?
on me. She called Seth.
That's okay. Brittany
While
J
she was
called Seth
live.
on me.
Did you guys see that?
You know it.
She called Seth. While
like he doesn't have bigger. Sorry, Jay.
She's fucking with him like a couple days before Christmas, calling him, saying that Jay, every day with Jay, is fucking talking about her.
Because that's what these people have taught them. They have taught them that if anybody says anything about you that you don't like, we'll sue them. Why are you calling a father of a missing child to say somebody hurt your lousy little fucking weak ass feelings on the internet? Do these people have any, like, ooh, that's just so gross. That's like when Tony said on Betty's, Steph was like, Tony's like, he's having a hard time falling asleep and getting to sleep and all. And Steph's like, yeah, and right when I start to fall asleep, my phone rings and it's Tony telling me that people are talking shit about me. Like, what kind of spokesman are you?
Yeah,
they're
why would
trying
you
to push
pass
him over
along
the
that
edge, in my
info?
opinion. Sorry,
And they all
Cliff.
act like we're the evil, hateful ones. Are you kidding me?
Look at this is her calling Seth. Look,
I'm calling Seth.
I'm calling Seth. Then she says, I gotta call Nick.
Nick
my
is self-snitching, and he's coming apart.
Yep.
You see it
That
too,
man's
Flo?
done
He's
been filled
unraveling.
apart.
Oh, Kelly, was that you who sent me that email? Yeah, I just reported her for bullying, and I think she went down off of her live and restarted her live and took my name off of it. Can you check? Because she was saying
Did
I
you,
look
Jay?
sick.
Yeah,
There's
this
something
is-
wrong with me. Maybe it was COVID.
Yeah, this is about me. Well, I
But
don't know.
did you go?
What?
Did your stream go down?
No.
No.
Oh.
No, she's
What the fuck is she talking?
I
No,
don't
it didn't.
know. I don't fucking know. It didn't go down.
And she showed a picture of me with my son at his first birthday party 25 years ago, and then showed me now. And not that I aged 25 years since then, or 26 years, and I'm now.
Oh, she's insecure.
Lady,
I never
drink
said
some
one word
beet
about this
juice
woman
and calm
before,
down.
and I reported her for bullying, and harassment right now.
Does this just
Well, I mean, she can't. I'm like make accusations that there's something sick with me. She doesn't know what it is to raise a child with
That's
profound
what she said. She called Seth, and then she was going to call Nick.
But she can't.
I'm gonna call somebody else. I gotta call somebody about this.
Oh,
can you check and see if her
trying hard
live from the when?
You know
but if
what,
the other live, like not the live she's on now, but the live, I think she had without my name, but it was all there. Yeah, thank you for sending me the screenshot.
I didn't have more than one live. I have no idea what she's talking about. I never had a live with her fucking name in it. I never did more than one. I was on the same one.
So right when you went off yesterday, you know, when you go back out and it like shows you who's on, she was on. So I immediately clicked in her thing, right? And literally she is so confused. She's like, did her live go down? Is it down? And I'm like, she just ended the live. Like she couldn't even figure out that you had just went off the computer.
I was done. Right.
Right. So she thought I think what she thought was since she reported you for bullying, it like
that she got me taken down.
But I'm just gonna say something. I have to say something. If there is some kind of like fuck shit going on in the background, this one right here, she's gonna be the one to crack.
Oh yeah, she's weaker than
oh
yeah. I don't even know what. And what kills me is like, but she can't be saying I'm sickly, but she can say all the sickest things about Katie and Chris.
I know it. I didn't say she looked like she had COVID. What I said was that what I meant was like COVID, like fucking aged people, like people were, shut-ins, and like not only did it age them, but it kind of fucked them up. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're stuck at home and you've got special needs kids and those like little day camps and stuff that they go do, are closed, that might take a fucking toll. But
Well,
she's
I mean,
like saying I look sick, perhaps COVID. Like what?
Like she's not even getting it correct. And not only that, but she used hella filters over on TikTok. If you pull up her TikTok and you look at her here, they don't even look like the same people.
That's why I showed her Facebook picture, because I was like, oh my God, what happened to her?
I'm just wondering.
And Clue's like, well, fuck, Jay, it was 30 years ago.
It really was, though.
I'm just wondering how these autistic children that she has raised have fared with her being so, like, everything is the end of the world. Like, this woman she needs to calm down.
Yeah, she's all over the place, man. It's frightening.
It's hard to watch, to be honest. I can't even.
Well, I thought
bother.
that at first, when I first started watching with her, I said, you know what? I don't think I'd ever play her again because she's very disturbed. Like she needs help. But no, this went beyond that, dude. She's like half faking some shit. Like
my son
I agree.
Like
actually.
it's not just a mentally ill woman. Like she turns on the faucet. She's manipulating. Like the more I watched, the more I was like, okay, this lady's fucking playing some games,
So we got another one.
Mm-hmm.
I have an actually autistic child. My son is autistic, and this woman would trigger him. Y'all don't understand what I'm saying. Like this woman would leave my son in.
Well, she definitely has special needs kids. I mean, she shows them. So she does, but I don't know anything about that. I've never really watched her TikToks. But when she, all I did was play like a little bit of her video, and like all of a sudden there was like she's harassing me. She's calling people. Listen, I think she ends up calling Nick.
Well, she also she did like 4 short videos about nonsense, and under like literally hours,
I saw
she was
that
spiraling.
That's what I was watching when she went off on Casey. I was like, oh my God. I wanted to comment, but she had it on like 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm not subscribing to her. So I just reacted to it myself, and then she just she must have been watching.
Dude, We were talking about her, like, it's going to sound bad, but I don't care. We were talking about her last night because apparently, like, I was asking Queen if she had seen, like, the newest one. And so Queen starts playing some of her video, and literally, best comment of the night. This person was like, "Welcome to YouTube, bitch."
The truth.
People
It
are going to
is.
talk about you.
I mean, she's
It's the
gone through
truth.
it all. She's like, they're talking about me. Oh, I'm gonna copyright strike them. It's like,
Calling my
lady,
attorneys.
god damn, you can tell
And
she knew.
what kills me the most is these people make their appearances on here doing stuff like she's doing to Chris and Katie. And again, they can't handle. No, it wasn't even that cruel of a comment. It was using her own logic back towards her. It was very logical. If anything, should have made her have a moment to be like, you know what? Maybe I should stop saying that Chris Proudfoot's not a father just because
Yeah.
he's a step parent. That's all.
This is a prime example of someone who is really, really super insecure and should
Yeah.
not be on YouTube.
No, not at all.
And skin is not thick enough at all.
And just to clarify, you said you guys were talking, so I'm not the only person here that like talks shit with people like offline and shit. You know what I mean? Like we've all done that, right?
Who, me and we were on the panel.
I don't.
She's
What
like,
do you
I don't.
mean?
Anything I've got to say about anybody, I'm not afraid to say in public. They can all
I
just
know
kiss
that's
my
right, honey.
Oh, I'll
white
say
lily
this shit in
patootie.
public too, but I'm saying like as humans, we gossip with our friend, like people gossip with their friends.
I mean,
Yeah.
shit,
What is
I spend probably 4 hours a day on the phone with Truth, so
Right.
I
That's what I
mean,
mean.
how much
People
Yeah,
of your
we
time is gossip? Think about it.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, we all have if we have discords, you know, we have that and of course.
Yeah. Shiesty motherfuckers before
Let me
the
play the
holiday.
rest of her fucked up phone call.
Shots of it. Thank you, dear. Bye. She went back on live. Hi, Victoria. I mean, it is absolutely sickening and disgusting.
She went back on live.
She says she's calling someone else.
What is her name again? It's Jay. No, this Jay.
Becky.
Jay. I just reported her for bullying. She was saying I look sick. I look COVID. I must have had COVID. Hey, is that her name? Is it Jay for Justice? Which one is it?
She don't even know.
She doesn't even know.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry. I said every day with Jay. I meant Jay's for Justice. Did I get it wrong? I don't even know who they are. I'm sorry. I named the wrong person. It's for Justin. Is that who it was? Or was it Every Day with Jay? Are they two different people? I reported whoever was talking about me. Okay, I get you. It has two different channels. They have I reported her for bullying me. She went on right after my live and said she's showing pics. She talked for 2 hours. I just saw the last, I don't know, 15 minutes of it while I was reporting her for bullying.
She had a
I'm not
horrible
sure if
signal
I don't know if I
too.
can. This is insane. I'm getting bullied all over the place.
I'm getting bullied all over.
What's harassing her?
There's Quinny. You can't
Same
tell
is it the
people
same
to mass
person?
report.
Every Day with Jay is Jay for Justice. Was harassing me
somebody should make a welcome to YouTube
in last
video
hour.
for
Oh my God!
Right?
I'm gonna try to reach somebody who can reach him. Last hour.
She's another heathen.
Look at this.
You're a heathen.
Look at this fun Tiski says number 1 channel is Jay for Justice and 2 Every Day with Jay, same person. Look at she got her 15 minutes of fame for Chris Watts case.
Oh, 15 minutes of fame. Okay. Yet here, this woman's having a whole conniption over you, trying to call
Is it
in
the same
the
person?
intelligence agency.
Like, oh my
Look at that. Go up a little bit, Jay. Right there. Julie, you are better than a bio mother. You made a choice to love and raise children when you didn't have to. Don't let scumbags get on your skin. You are wonderful. But that same person won't say that same shit about Chris.
That same person was probably in Jay's chat going, "This bitch is crazy."
Yeah.
Oh my
Holy
God. You guys should
shit.
have a reality show. I swear to
My
fucking God.
Well, do you want to stay up here while we listen to Julia?
No, she makes my skin curl. I'll go back to dreadfully wrapping presents in the most horrific way and just praying the tape stays together.
Oh,
But
well,
thank
have
you for
fun.
having me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Congratulations on your filing.
Yeah, thank God they
That's good
finally
news.
filed.
Yeah.
Nice.
Enjoy your
All right, guys.
Christmas,
Bye.
Granny.
Thank you. You too. You guys, bye.
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 All right, let's see what Julia's got to say.
Choose to take the wrong path, then you get the consequences. And so I would think that at this point in her life,
How did I lose it?
So, going in without that would be hard to use in a trial or any kind of prosecution.
Right.
So that's my opinion, and I think you're doing a wonderful job.
Aw,
and
thanks.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's silly.
Yeah, it's silly, and we're for the kid, for Sebastian. Like,
That sounds like, oh, I have it sped up. Fuck, that's why. I'm like, damn, that person sounds weird.
I feel like a lot of people are just coming up with anything else. And yeah.
Have two, so you don't have to worry about it. We are calling Julia, Ara, and Gator.
You've reached Captain Julia.
It went straight to voicemail. Let's try again. There we go. This is Canine Handler Julia with Gator and Ara.
Hello.
Hi, is Ara home?
Oh, she's living in the basement right now with me because it's raining outside.
Is Gator there?
Yeah, Gator's here too.
Oh.
He's upstairs with Howie though. That's
darn
Howie.
it. I guess I'll talk.
He's upstairs with Howie.
Who's Howie?
Oh my God, Clue. You don't know who fucking Howie is? Cousin Howie?
No.
Cousin Howie. That's who she stayed with down there.
Oh, the one that allegedly lives in Brentwood or whatever.
Yeah, he likes to sit on the porch in his rocking chair and drink beer. Cousin Howie. That's how she described him. Just saying.
Talk to Julia then.
Oh yeah, I'm the poor substitute compared to Gator and Ara. But seriously, wait till you see Marley. Marley.
Oh, I saw the
She
picture.
wasn't
Let me
there, but
pull the
Marley.
picture up. Let's talk about Marley.
Marley is an explosives canine, but she's also trained in firearms detection and GSR, which is gunshot residue. So I should probably explain why I'm bringing up Marley. So as I mentioned to you earlier, I've had a couple neighbors call me. I have a bunch of people email me, and
oh wait, let me slow this shit down. She's bringing a firearms detection dog, and she's explaining why.
GSR, which is gunshot residue. So I should probably explain why I'm bringing up Marley. So as I mentioned to you earlier, I've had a couple neighbors call me. I have a bunch of people email me, and without giving away too many details, I really have reason to believe that I have to go back up to Pennsylvania to take care of some things, but I'm coming back again after that. But I'm bringing Marley back down with me, and Marley is trained for GSR, like I said, in explosives and firearms. And I was going back and forth with Agent Simmons today about this. He's been awesome with me, by the
Agent Simmons. That's it. That's the TBI guy.
Yep, that's him, Bobby Simmons.
I've been going back and forth with Agent Simmons.
Firearms. And I was going back and forth with Agent Simmons today about this. He's been awesome with me, by the way. We've been communicating. He's been great. I really appreciate him. So Marley is she's good at what she does, but she's the biggest nut bar I think of any Malinois I've ever met. She's got I swear that dog does not have a bad day. She's always happy all the time. So I'm excited for her to come back down. But
she's beautiful.
Last few days I'm still gonna she knows it. So I'm gonna be
she knows it. I love it.
She's a
sassy.
diva, and honestly, she's sassy. But honestly, like if we're watching a football game back home in PA, because Ray's an Eagles fan, and so are all his friends. Yeah, Eagles. But if
Ray's an Eagles fan, why does she throw these fucking details in like that?
Girl, I don't know.
Like Ray, like I'm supposed to know who Ray is. Like this is the first time I've talked to you. How do I know who Ray and fucking Howie are? She always did this. She'd always throw out first names like, oh, Mike, my friend Mike is coming down with me and we're going to stay at Howie's. What the fuck?
It's like anyone's raising their voice. This dog jumps up on the counter in the kitchen and sits there with her ears folded back, all she doesn't like when people raise their voices, but she looks like a dope, so I can't yell at her. I'm just like, Marley, what are you doing?
My golden puts her ears back like that too, and she looks so funny.
It's always when they know they've done something wrong too. They're just like, yeah, I know, but Mom, I'm cute, and it's just like, yeah. But I'll still be here with Peter and R for the next 2 days. Probably through the weekend, probably Mondays, when I'll go back up to. I have to take care of something with my unit, and then I'm going to come back again. But I'm bringing Marley with me, just because. I'm trying to think of what I'm allowed to say here, because I want to actually this is.
Don't give away too much.
Yeah.
She said she let
but
her
the
dog
phone call
jump
I
on
just
the kitchen
had
counter.
for 5 minutes when Tim was on the phone, I was really mad because.
Yeah, she said something like that.
That's gross.
I don't know
And
what the
weird.
fuck she was talking about. She's talking about Tim. Look at, I was really
I wanted to
mad.
hear what you're saying, and then my phone call finally called me back. I'm just like, this dude can call me back like a little beforehand, but it was worth.
Why is she talking about a dude calling her?
Yeah. But the phone call I just had for like 5 minutes when Tim was on the phone, I was really mad because I wanted to hear what you're saying, and then my phone call finally called me back. I'm just like, this dude can call me back like a little beforehand, but it was worth it. He was from the Tennessee Highway Patrol. He's an officer, and I didn't realize TBI and Sumner County hasn't communicated with the Highway Patrol people, the officers. And these guys are really, really insightful. It seems to me like they're our version in PA of our state police. And I was talking to them about like routes and about like, you know, crossing state lines and where the territories ends. And like if Sebastian were hypothetically be driven to Missouri or Mississippi, I'm sorry, where does the territory start and end?
Missouri?
What?
She said Missouri or Mississippi. I'm sorry. If Sebastian was driven to
Because
Missouri.
that's where Chris was staying.
Right, but isn't it crazy that Missouri is where Sean and Tony lived at one point? Joplin, Missouri.
Oh, no, that's Mississippi, isn't it?
Mississippi is where Chris was staying.
Gee, I don't know, Jay. Let's look at Law 101. If something crosses state lines, it becomes federal. Duh.
Why
That's
is she?
true.
Yeah, but why is she asking where the territories end? Like, you don't know where state lines are?
If Sebastian were
What the fuck is she talking about?
Routes and about like, you know, crossing state lines and where the territories ends. And like if Sebastian were hypothetically be driven to Missouri or Mississippi, I'm sorry, where does the territory start and end? I know people probably think it's weird that I'm going about this in more like, I'm trying to think of the word, not like a professor type of way. I'm trying to like knock out outside the box ways of thinking because this is a very outside the box case.
Yeah,
And
it's
I know
not
like
like
I'm
you
just
were
a can-
given any information, right? So you're kind of going into this blind. So you're trying to find the best
Shut up,
information
Jay.
of where you can spend your time so you're not spinning your wheels, right?
Exactly. And no one gave me real information or any information I did get, it was conflicting. Like the whole somebody mentioned earlier, the footprint outside the retention pond. Well, I also heard it was a shoe print, like a size 10 shoe print. So there's just so many different conflicting things that I have to start from ground zero. And the big this thing people have against me is, oh, she's a canine handler. What's she doing? And yeah, that's true. But I also was an investigative officer for the Army, so I know how to go about things in the legal way without stepping on one's feet.
So you're searching in an investigative way, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, without being paid as an investigator, and that's fine. I don't need that. I use my skills as an investigative officer to assist me with my canine searching, if that makes sense. So I ask questions, I think of different methods, and then I'll take Gator R out on a track or trail. Like I know this upcoming weekend, if the storms are fine before I get back to PA, one thing I want to do is search a couple lakes with Aura. But up until this morning, I didn't have a boat driver, but I have one now, and I'm excited about that. So how that works is the canine goes to the front of, and somebody said to me, like, can't you get like a license in, you know, the state? And I could, but I can't operate a boat and watch what she's doing. So she's going to go to the front of the boat.
You're only
and
one
then I'm going to
person.
wait for an hour. I mean, as much as I would love to have 500 hands, that'd be kind of weird. But I have to like, I have to focus on what she's doing because I don't know the extent of, besides what to do with those divers that came out here. I don't know who else has really searched the lakes or what's been done.
Yeah.
So, and a couple of people have said, like, I know Terry Lynn's been doing awesome with like going to the rivers and the creeks and whatnot. I told her I think me, her, and Ara need to all get matching booties. I'm waiting for her to agree to that.
Yeah.
But I want to search these lakes because I really don't think they've been searched. Like the Narc divers are the guys, right? They were searching. I don't know what lakes they search. I never met them before, but it doesn't mean I can't do it again. And sorry from talking fast. It's been a long.
No, you're
I was
fine,
so
you're fine.
amped today, but it's like gross outside and it's been like raining and then I got hail warning. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, be
but I
safe
wanna
when you
search those
when
again.
you travel back, you know, back and forth. How
Oh.
far is it? Is it?
It's like 7.5, 8 hours.
Oh,
It's really not that far from me because I'm like in a weird part. PA is a very geographically weird state. Like Amish country is like right borderline with like Maryland, and I didn't figure that out honestly until like I don't know, like 5 years ago. So I was just like, oh, it's right there. I'm just really people keep asking me also why are we researching areas like all these dogs have been in the house, all these dogs have been like on the yes, they have been dogs everywhere, but then again, you probably I don't know if you remember the Danilo Cavalcante case in
Oh, yeah.
Pennsylvania when that was going on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. And there's the Nick connection. Danilo Cavalcante.
Yep.
So he said in his interview, rescuers walked right past him or walked over him because he was hiding in the woods. He covered himself in animal feces and whatnot to hide from the searchers, not necessarily the dogs, but the searchers. Now, if these dogs haven't been exposed to that environment before, like dealing with, like feces out in the woods, they're not going to, it's called scent discrimination. They're not going to be able to discriminate, I hate saying this, the two from they're just not going to be able to. Just like Gator searching a rehab, I put him off like peanut butter. Like I didn't want him walking to a rehab, searching a room, and eating all the peanut butter sandwiches that people live out there.
Right.
I had to make sure he knew, he couldn't be distracted. He needed to still find what he was looking for, even with that out there. So updates for sure. Like I'm going to be doing some lake searches. I want to go to this campground. It's kind of near the Hendersonville address. It's not open year round, so people still teenagers will sneak in there apparently. So there's a bunch of areas that people have sent me, and I encourage people, please still send me stuff. And I'm really sorry if I don't get back to the emails right away. It's just
you're reading
I'm doing
them.
this with
Yeah.
my canine.
It's hard.
My friend Mike came down with me. Yeah, he's
there. She goes again. There's the third person, Mike.
Jay, not only that, but she's sitting here talking about all these searches these people have put her on and stuff, but then she didn't want to do searches until she was legit, remember?
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't add up.
Neighbors contacting her
Wow.
on May 22nd.
Yeah.
Why would neighbors be contacting her? Bobby Binoculars.
Bobby. Mm-hmm.
Bing bong.
Yep.
When was that interview, I wonder, with JLR and her?
Bing bong.
Let me look.
Because let's not forget, that could also be a connection. I'm just saying.
It could. Neighbor speaks. Let's see. 6 months ago.
Hello. JLR Investigates, come on in, everyone. Continuous coverage of the Sebastian Rogers case.
I
I'm
don't
gonna bring in
know.
Miss Bobby,
Everything
who was a
that
neighbor.
comes out of that side is so shady. It gives
June
Eminem
9th.
secondhand embarrassment.
June 9th. Binocular Bobby.
And this was when?
May 22nd. 2 weeks after this.
Golly, could you imagine the size of the effing whiteboard you would need?
I was just thinking, how would you even start to diagram this shit?
And then do y'all remember how Jules just kind of faded into the background and disappeared until this whole lawsuit thing come out?
Like a fart in the wind. She came back out and started chatting. I noticed, I think she started chatting maybe like a week before that paperwork came out. Or the whole bin lawsuit injunction. How about that? Or maybe, I'm trying to think if she had started back up chatting before the truth serum videos, or if it was right before the paperwork.
I don't know. I'm on a tilt-a-whirl.
I agree with what
Right.
you said about the Bobby sending that flashlight video to Nick Bears.
Before we finish her, SF is on fire. This is just tonight. I haven't seen this.
Yeah, fiance told me to look at his post, but my phone won't let me do it.
Okay, here it is. I'll read it. Just to highlight how detached and inappropriate Tony Mathis is as a spokesperson for a missing person case. Last night, he claimed that I'm not a private investigator because I speak out about cases. This is yet another uninformed individual who misunderstands what being a private investigator means. Private investigator is simply an investigator in private practice, as opposed to being a government employee. It does not mean everything must remain confidential or discreet. Unbelievable. You might not like my method of tactically disclosing information for specific reasons and responses, but it works. And it's the reason I have found more missing persons than any other investigator. So while others waste their money, my clients will continue to see results. If I wasn't getting results, you wouldn't be talking about me every day, Tony. You wouldn't be briefing your minions with talking point decks every morning. I scare you. Let's be honest. This case turned to what it has when you came on board. You made a mockery of the case, just like you did the Caleb Harris case, until his family told you to leave and not use their name anymore. And for the record, you know who else thinks private investigator means confidential? Bullhorn Betty. Looks like Tony Mathis found his mentor. Vern Gilbert.
love him.
Vern Gilbert says on fire.
I absolutely adore SF. Like, I'm not even kidding. Meeting him was like literally the coolest thing. Like, he is. You think he's gonna be super cocky? I mean, I would be. Like, let's be real. If I were him with his record, you think he's gonna be like kind of cocky or whatever? He's the most like down to earth, just genuinely nice person. It's crazy.
He's very humble too.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't
Look
look
at
at
this
finding.
comment. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He just doesn't look like, we're sitting here and like knowing the number of people that he's found, like just since 2023, for instance, right? You're like, I don't know, you're just like in awe of him, right? And he doesn't even look at it like it's even a big deal or, something to be like proud. I don't know. It's just crazy. Be scared, Tony. That's all I got to say.
Look at this meme that someone posted. It says, get some aloe vera, pal, because you just got burned. And this one here, it says, life be like. Regardless of Tony, I'm pleased that Seth and Chris are working together to find Sebastian.
What? That's new.
Yeah.
Since when?
Hell
I
if
don't
I
think
know.
they are. Maybe.
I don't know. First I heard of it. All right, let's finish this bitch, and then I'm going to get off here because I got to wrap gifts.
What's
It's
today?
hard. And like Terry Lynn is fantastic, and I know I'm planning on linking up there this weekend. It's just my first week and a half here was all about like I've never been to this part of Tennessee before. I know nothing about.
She said she's been there for a week and a half already, on the 22nd. Week and a half. She hadn't met up with Terry Lynn because I was starting to ask her in text, like, have you met her yet? Because she said she'd been there. It's like, what the fuck you waiting for? And meanwhile, Terry Lynn's supposed to have this fucking mattress pad in her possession, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything I want
what?
to get my layouts.
The
I don't wanna
mattress pad that she found.
Just a random. She picked
no,
up a
dude.
random.
It's a mattress
pad.
pad with like a stain on it, and it looks kind of disturbing. It looks like it has like a outline of like fluids.
So,
And she
true
said
story.
she bagged and tagged it.
So, true story, Jay. Whenever all that mattress stuff come out, the mattress pad things, me and my father went canoeing down a ditchway, like right on the other side of a place called Paragould, Arkansas, right? And you would not believe what was under the bridge when we went
mattress
by.
pad?
And I was like, wouldn't you know? And I was just like, oh my goodness. Like, if that dog has to sniff every mattress pad,
Probably because when
in a-
people move and shit, if they don't take that thing off, it might blow off. I don't know why there's mattress pads laying around, but she found one. It looked like it had been, she said, blood on it initially. Then when she was called out on it, she said no. I said it was urine. So anyway, she said she put this shit in a bag, and she
What did
wanted
she do? Sniff it? That's
I
disgusting. How do
guess
you know?
she wanted
Yeah,
Julia's
she
dog
wanted
to
the
fucking
dog
smell it,
to sniff it. Yeah.
to see if it was Sebastian's scent, because the cops didn't want it.
That should tell you something, lady. Right there. They don't want it.
They don't get
It's
it.
not
Cruz. They
evidence.
don't get it.
Right.
going into something and not knowing where I'm at, because then I look unsure, and then it doesn't come off as professional.
No, I got you.
So,
you gotta do your things your way, and all you can do is be honest about what you're doing, and people can accept it for what it is. You know what you do, and you are very confident in what you do. So, I mean, that's all. If that's where it is, that's where it is. Everybody in chat says thank you so much for your service and protecting us.
Oh, I'm not good at compliments. I've told you this. Like, oh my
I
God,
know.
I'm
Well,
not.
you're going
I'm
to have to
terrible.
get
But
used to
thank
it
you.
because you're getting a lot of love here. You really are. I mean, people appreciate you.
I
We've never
appreciate
had
that.
anyone, at least from what I've seen in the true crime community, we've never had, like, I've never seen dog handlers like give as much information as you've been able to give us in just this short time.
And I don't want to
And
again.
I've just never seen it.
FYI.
You know, and I've always wondered, like I said, from the Watts case, I've been sitting on that for 5 years, wanting to ask a real dog handler, was that a shit job? You know, I waited 5 years for
Yeah,
that.
and I'm glad you brought that up because people ask me that all the time. So that's kind of like I work with law enforcement agencies. Like, I mean, occasionally, especially back in PA, the PA State Police will subcontract me out. And in that case, I can't say a whole lot. But when I'm just like consulting with an agency, but I'm not officially on their books, I mean, I can technically talk a lot more because I'm not under like, restrictions. I'm not under a gag order. I can talk a lot more, but I'll never give away so much that I jeopardize the integrity of the case, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So I can talk a lot more. I can offer a lot more opinions. Unless I'm under a contract, that's totally different. But since I'm voluntarily doing this and just
You
consulting
can talk
with TBI,
about what you want
I'm
to
not-
talk about for the most part.
Yeah, but it's like if tomorrow Agent Simmons were to be like, "Hey, you're signing a contract, confidentiality gag order," then I have to be like, "Well, I definitely can't say anything." Then, like, I would honor that. I've been trying to be very careful about what I've said, but I also want to be honest and open with people because there's been so much like back and forth, like dogs fence the pond and like the landfill search. You know what I mean? So it's just, I get the frustration people are feeling. I understand Seth's frustration with law enforcement, but like Tim mentioned earlier, when you've got parents that are very, very emotional and very, very, there was already a mess before this whole Sebastian thing happened. There's high tensions and everything. They don't want any emotional.
How does she know that? How does she know that there was high tensions before the Sebastian thing ever happened?
She probably got the same story I did.
Jesus criminy.
Before this whole Sebastian thing happened, there's high tensions and everything. They don't want any emotional reactivity on either side. So I understand why law enforcement's quiet, but I also understand Seth's frustration. And if Chris and Katie feel that too, and they're not as open about this stuff, I get where everybody's coming from. It's very, very hard.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I've
and you've been
decided
great
to
with,
just forget about them for a minute and go back to Sebastian, because what they've got going on is just way too messy for me to keep. I can't. So
yeah, well,
I enjoy hearing this tonight. And someone else said that this coverage brings her calm, and she needed it during this mayhem. So thank you to you and Tim. Yeah, they grounded us. No, they caused fucking chaos. Talk about a reverse fucking Uno, man. Grounded us tonight. Jesus.
Oh, Tim's awesome, but I will say this last thing. Colonel Voice, on my battalion commander, who's been like really good. His son actually gave me a BB-8 Funko Pop to like give Sebastian, like, if we were to find him and he were to be, okay, like I thought that was, gave me a BB-8. Tim's awesome, but I will say this last thing. Colonel Voice, on my battalion commander, who's been like really good. His son actually gave me a BB-8 Funko Pop to like give Sebastian, like, if we were to find him and he were to be, okay, like I thought that was cute. So I wanted to say thank you to Colonel Voice and his son for doing that. They literally were like, if you see this, give it to him, and even still, like, make sure someone in his family gets it.
That's
so,
really
like,
nice.
this little kid, he's so cute.
What does that even mean?
Girl.
But yeah, thanks, Jay. I appreciate you being so nice and supportive as always.
Yeah, of course.
And again, thank you.
I'll text
it's
you
been hot,
with
and I'll tell
Tim's
Ara,
information
thank
too,
you.
so you can hook up with him if you want. And when you guys both have, some time, I'd love to have you both on and, take some questions from everybody and hear you guys kind of interact too. It's so interesting. You guys are so smart.
We'll redo that panel that we did the first time, but this time it'll be a lot better because it'll be a lot more, people won't be Googling stuff like somebody else was doing during our last panel.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
no.
So,
yeah, and we'll get, I think maybe we can get everything together beforehand, before we just hit that live button, right? Lessons learned, babe. But his dog's name's Bo, not Tequila.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's a good
Not
thing.
tequila or vodka or
Honey,
amaretto, whatever.
One day we'll laugh about this shit. Don't you worry. One day that will all
Thanks
be
so much.
a distant memory that we'll be able to really laugh about. So, because really the joke's on
well,
her.
I just told... Very true.
That did not age well.
Get an R, you say hi and good night, because R is actually, she keeps putting her ball and just dropping my lap and staring at me. I'm
because
just
she
like,
knows
okay, all right.
she knows you're talking to me.
Exactly. She's like, listen, I want Jay to come throw the ball for me.
I
so
would
it's
love
gonna
to.
happen. Shout out to the Tennessee Highway Patrol officers. They've been, and Agent Sims too. He got a lot of crap in the past, and after talking to him like one-on-one on the phone, and just like it made a lot of things are cleared up, and they're feeling the drama too. They're feeling the pressure. So I will say, if it means anything to anybody out there, that he is trying. It's just there's a lot he's got going on right now.
It sounds like it. I mean, from what we're seeing is just probably the tip of the iceberg. So I can't imagine what they're dealing with. But thank you for all that you do, hon, and get some sleep and keep us up to date on what's going on next. And I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, bye. I gotta go some black magic coffee for Terry Lynn for the weekend. I gotta figure out what that is actually, because I don't know what that is. That must be like a southern thing.
I
I have
think
no
no, I
idea.
think it's just super, super strong. Look,
Oh,
I think it's on
shoot. Well, that
Amazon.
sounds great.
Yeah, I think it's super, super strong.
Oh,
It'll grow
perfect.
hair on
All
your
right.
chest.
All right. Thanks, Jay. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Good night.
All right, bye.
Jay,
Fuck.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
About what?
Earlier in a phone call, I thought state police weren't even informed and involved in the case.
That
So
is
what
what she
she
said.
Yeah, so what's
Because
this
she
what's
met
this
with them.
last part?
Because she met with them, and they gave. Remember,
Uh-huh.
that's who she asked the routes to,
Oh.
and
Right,
they've
but if
been
they weren't
extremely
involved in the
helpful.
case, why would she go to them?
Right.
How are they helpful if they I'm so wow.
Because she's
And they
full
absolutely
shit.
were involved in the case.
Yes, they were. I
PhD.
remember
I
seeing
saw
that they were
them.
there.
Uh-huh. But
And
she said they weren't, if
I
y'all
gotta hop
remember at the
down.
first when she
Yeah, she
called.
did.
I gotta hop down, Jay.
Okay. Merry Christmas, Clue and Cletus.
Merry Christmas.
Bye,
Merry
guys.
Christmas, Clue.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's crazy,
Jay, it's all so
Regina.
much.
My
It's all
God.
so much. I don't know what to think about it anymore. Like, it makes my brain cells hurt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm. I just can't even believe how misinformed we all were from that. Like, it's really concerning to me to like play that back, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
that there's
Yeah.
people
And just
out
like
there that do this shit, you know?
Yeah. And just like I think that Clue and I think everybody's right. I think everybody's reading from a script. And I think everyone has sent these little I think it's been going on for a long time in this case, Jay. I really do. I think that this has been something scripted for a long time now. Like all of the drama, um, the money grifting, like the green team, um, like I think it's all been scripted for a long time. I think it's just one big it's a soap opera drama, a bad one.
Yeah. I mean, I am proud of myself when I heard back, like, or listened back, like, May 22nd. I'm so glad I never fell for Tony's bullshit. That's one thing I did have good judgment on.
I just I don't know. I took one look at Tony and was like, nope, not for me. Nope, 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 nope.
And, like, I just
he
never would
looks
expect a dog handler to, like, lie about being a dog. Like, that's just, like, the least thing on my radar. You know what I'm saying? Like, of all things to lie about. But, yeah,
Yeah.
it seems like a total fucking script.
Yeah.
Thank you,
It might
Kim.
be it might be something someone could consider me crazy for, but I took one look at Tony and like, no, like just something about the way that man looks unnerves me, and that usually is my like one of my warning signs, I guess. And the way he did Caleb Harris's family and over the whole JRL business or whatever, that was so messed up. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't care what kind of beef you've got, whatever, whatever. Don't do that to a family. You know what I'm
I
saying? Like what he
agree.
did was
Yeah, it was. It was dirty. It was dirty.
and he tried involving himself in Idaho. And from the moment he stepped into the picture, um, the griftmas and the grifting going on has just been phenomenal. Like the people that they have extended their tentacles out to, and now all these frivolous lawsuits and just everything, it's all too much, Jay. It's just and somewhere in there has gotten lost a 15-year-old little boy that whenever if he ever is found and has to come home, he has to come home to the knowing his father went on national TV and said that his mother never loved him, and has to know all of the embarrassing American Pie comments that his father has said about him, and know that all of this drama went on in his name. I mean, could you imagine having to be someone to come home to all of this done in your name? The look, I've almost got secondhand embarrassment for Sebastian's name, what people has done to it. It's that bad.
Well, here's a little reminder. Right here. Thank you for saying all that, Regina. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.
You too, Jay. Thank you so much for having me. You're amazing. And I am going to be watching your Dateline, where you were on Dateline while I'm on the holiday vacation.
Oh,
So,
nice. Well, let me know what you
yeah, I
think.
can't wait to see that. I sure will.
All right.
You guys
Merry
have a very Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Bye, Regina.
Blessings. Bye.
Wait, Striker, what? Nick says he's stepping down. Where? Striker, where does he say that? Hey, Mike Capone. Thank you, Southern Ish, for your super chats, too, by the way. Hey, Captain Ganja, Merry Christmas. I did, Sane. You're right. It's just tough to listen to that, man. I don't like. There's one thing I don't like, and that's freaking liars, man. On X? Okay, let me check it out. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Nick the Hat. Let's see. Where? I don't see that. Where do you see he's stepping down? Hold on. Striker, are you trolling me? All I see is this, which this little profile picture is familiar. Isn't that Ben George or somebody's? I don't see where he's stepping down. New search efforts in the hunt for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And he shared a video.
The evidence seems to indicate
He's sharing Dolly's video of fucking Nancy Grace at CrimeCon.
you're watching Dolly Vision.
Oh, that's his intro.
Plan. How do you know the father didn't pick up the child? Okay. You don't. But you instantly go to my kid's gone. He's been kidnapped. Oh my God. Right. People don't do that. First, they
That's what Nick is sharing, by the way. He reposted Eric Trump. Where'd Striker go? Why isn't he telling me where it's at? Why is Striker all of a sudden trolling, or is that the real Striker? And then he reposted Elon Musk. And this is pinned. He didn't say he was stepping down. Why would you interrupt the missing poster of Sebastian for that? Oh, you sent it to my email? All right, let me look. Striker, you were acting different today. You were acting different today. What email did you send it to, Striker? J is for Justice? Oh, Kelsey, thank you so much for your Venmo. I appreciate that. Merry Christmas. Thank you. I don't see anything from you, Striker. Mm. Hold on. Someone named Dina? Okay, this is odd. We got one more weird thing. The person that has the name Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Are you ready? Hold on. Fuck. This is one of the songs they have in their playlist. It's Pat Benatar. Promises in the Dark. Striker, I didn't get anything. Oh, there you are, Kels. I'm slow. Give me a minute. Striker, I think you're fucking with me and I don't like it. These lyrics are interesting. This is something that Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers saved to their playlist. Let's read the words. Never again, isn't that what you said? You swore this time you'd think with your head. No one would ever have you again. If taking was gonna get done, you'd decide where and when. Thank you for becoming a cooter, Melissa. Welcome to Cooterville and close your legs. You'd decide where and when, just when you think you've got it down. Yeah, it's Pat Benatar. But I can't play it, I'll get copyright struck. Your heart securely tied and bound. They whisper promises in the dark. Armed and ready, you fought love battles in the night, but too many opponents made you weary of the fight. I don't know if this means anything, but blinded by passion, you foolishly let someone in. All the warnings went off in your head. Still, you had to give in. Hold on, let me pull up this channel. This whole ass channel. Do you see this? Do you think someone is doing this because they think they're supporting Sebastian? Joined March 1st, 2014. What do you guys think of this? No, obviously Sebastian didn't. Someone made this because it was made March 1st. That's after Sebastian went missing. It says Dina. Dina Real 1560. And she's got 193 videos. All songs. And then another playlist. I don't fucking know, man. The depraved world of the Turpin family. I don't know who this is. Why would they make their name Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers? It's weird, huh? Huh. I don't know. Striker, are you sending that email or what? I'm tired and I need to go to bed. If I don't get it in a minute, dude, I'm signing off. It's officially Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve. Right, they even have the little like the little, I don't know what you call that, accent mark. They don't have any videos posted. They're just saved other people's videos. It is Miss Harmony. I'll send the URL to Ellie. I don't know who made it, but strange. Very strange. You sent me a screenshot. All right, let me check. Nothing yet, Striker. I mean, don't you think if it was 12 hours ago? All right, let me do that. Dun, 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 dun. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. All right, here we go. 12 hours ago. Nick Halfatha. This? I don't know what I'm supposed to be seeing. On September 4th, just before 4:45, I was cautioned to back away from the Sebastian Rogers case by an influential figure involved in covering and investigating the case. Be careful, they are gunning it for you. The wolves that hate Seth and digging on you. Oh, YouTube. Okay. That you didn't say YouTube, did you? It's the same post. On September 4th, I was cautioned to back away by an influential figure covering and investigating the case. The same post. That doesn't say he's backing down. It says in September, he was cautioned to back away by an influential figure. Who's the influential figure? Tony or Seth? That's the question. Who do you think it is, Stryker? I'm curious. Who do you think was telling him to back away? That was an influential person back in September. I wonder. I don't think Turlin would be a key influential person. There's only a couple of those, right? Like there's an inner circle. There's not a whole lot of people that are influential, if you will. In September, he was cautioned to back down. So he went ahead and, filed a RICO. Thank you for not full on trolling, Striker. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm out of here. I got to go take care of last minute stuff. Tomorrow is my Christmas celebration, so I will not be live tomorrow. I will probably be live Christmas night after everyone goes home. So hopefully we can get together then and chat maybe on a members only on Christmas night. That would be fun. So anyways, I hope you guys all enjoy your holiday. If you're alone, just know that we love you and we're here in spirit. I'll be here Christmas night to sit there and chit chat with y'all. Okay? So we love you guys. Everybody stay safe out there if you're traveling. All that good stuff. Thank you, everybody, for all of your Christmas gifts you sent my way. It's very, very, very kind. Thank you so much. Here's to 2025. It's scary saying that. It's really scary saying that, in my opinion. All right, let's dance this out. See ya.
I might go forever, go for eons. Friend like you don't be on. Pull up in the Tesla, Elon. When I was a kid, I was a phenom. When I was a kid, I was a beast. I pull up, then I be gone. See ya, see ya, see ya. Be gone. See ya, see ya, see ya. Be gone. Thumbing through the blues, no BB King. Back to back shifts, so just looking for the ring. I wake up, I brush my teeth. I wake up, I bought 2, 3. I wake up like, ooh, that's me. Brand new car, like, ooh, that's clean. Tracksuit pants, don't wear no jeans. I'm athletic, counting up 100 like calisthenics. Talking about a bag, you got bad credit. New MX, we don't use debit. Calling, brand new deals, keep calling. Tell them bring them through, need all them. 4 whole kids still ballin'. I just get up and I zoom. I don't need proof on the proof. I be way up at the moon. I'm looking down on you. Hey, nigga, I'm proud of you. Stack money a mile or 2. I might go forever, go for eons. Friend like you don't be on. Pull up in the Tesla, Elon. When I was a kid, I was a phenom. When I was a kid, I was a beast. I pull up, then I be gone. See ya. See ya, see ya, be gone. See ya, see ya, see ya, be gone. I'm on a run and you better know. I'm in the know and you better know. I'm here to stay and you better know. I'm at the table, I never fold. I'm at the table, I'm up again. I'm at the table, I'm here to win. Don't cook a record, don't come again. Please, I just need what I need. I collect for my seeds. Would've thought my name tree. I pick up then I leave. In my pocket I be. I don't like to be seen. I just get up and I zoom. I don't need proof on the proof. I be way up at the moon. I'm looking down on you. Hey nigga, I'm proud of you. Stack money a mile or 2. I might go forever, go for eons. Friend like you don't be on. Pull up in the Tesla, Elon. When I was a kid, I was a phenom. When I was a kid, I was a beast. I pull up, then I be gone. See ya, see ya, see ya. Be gone. See ya, see ya, see ya. Be gone.
Jennifer loves horses. Hi, Jennifer.
Did I ask you what somebody I don't even know thinks?